one game a week at Kyle's, one game a week at Joe's.
I don't know how they have time. They're also like, they're out there creating all these different things. All these people like cartoons and clothing lines and water, and then they're also playing 3 times a week.
They don't sleep. You know the trick?
No.
36-hour days. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, for real. When I moved to New York, I found out
I thought you were
that.
kidding, and I was just like, there's
No,
a joke.
36-hour days. So you pack so much more in if you actually stay up for like 30 hours and then sleep for 6 and then, yeah, you're doing it wrong.
I feel like I do that naturally and don't even know.
Oh, well then maybe
But I
you're
don't
doing
think
it
I'm
right.
productive.
Huh?
I don't think I'm productive then.
Oh, well they go into, you know, have you ever heard someone talk about a runner's high?
No.
Okay, well if you talk to the long distance runners, they say this all the time, and I think it's complete BS, but for this case we'll pretend it's real. So apparently after you run past a certain distance, you're like endorphins kicking at some level, and then you can just like run forever. And so it's like
euphoric.
Kind of, right? It's like the farther you run, the better it is now at this point, right? And I'm like, well, when does this kick in? And like, I have a friend who's along this. He's like, I don't know, usually around mile 10 or 11 for me. And I'm like,
I can't get to 1. All right, let's be real.
So I think the same thing on this. I think once you get over a certain pass, then all your endorphins are flying, and then you just create super creative stuff, and you come out of the box and you like wake up and it's 9 days later and you're like, look what I made.
I will say that like when I'm my most tired, right before I sleep, and like when I'm in my shower, like going maybe about to go to bed, I have my most creative ideas.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with like exhaustion.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's something.
Your
Maybe you're like
survival
in touch
mode,
with the,
You're in an in-between state. You're in the other side. Or
the other side.
Of your mind.
Not the upside down.
Not the upside down, but the other side.
The upside down. That's the other cool thing we got going on downstairs.
What?
We got the Stranger Things has got their scavenger hunt going on today.
There's a scavenger hunt?
Yeah, it's like all over Comic-Con.
I want to be in there.
So did you see the lockers and stuff downstairs, and they took over?
So are there prizes down there?
I don't know. It's like it's like a virtual scavenger hunt.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they're doing good stuff.
And then are they releasing their
I think they're doing another wave
collab
of the Nike collab with Stranger Things. We've got Stranger Things box sets downstairs.
And on display right behind me.
Are you going to take that one with you?
Can I?
Yeah, of course. You know what else?
What?
I got this for you.
What?
Because apparently she used her last player's handbook so much that the thing fell apart.
No, it's mildewed.
And so she's like, hey,
I spilled stuff on it.
I use mainly D&D Beyond, but I want to read more, like I want to get a little deeper in the thing, like, do you have...
I also want to learn how to Dungeon Master, and this has
so,
all of it.
Yeah, so you've got that.
So, whoa, and it comes with a screen?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not trying to just be all about selling things, but this is cool, so I'm going to show you.
Okay.
So it has a screen, which I feel like I haven't seen anyone use before.
Well, this is a
different.
Hydro Special Edition screen. So.
And then it has Monster's Manual, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
So my Player's Handbook, this is very nice.
Pretty, right?
It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's like, better than like a Sopranos disc set when you...
What's a disc set?
Exactly.
What do you
Blu-ray disc.
What do you do with the disc?
Oh, that's so pretty! And I was a Dragonborn Barbarian. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. My first character was a Dragonborn Barbarian, and as dragons, it's called Dungeons and Dragons, so I get it. But now we can hide things.
Yeah, look at that.
This is really, thank you, Nathan.
You're welcome. So now your
it smells really bad.
Well, this does it though, right? This smells good. That's got that new book smell.
It smells great.
Yeah.
Are they different too? Do they have different? No, same thing.
Same thing on that one, but
how
you got
come
the nice.
It's not as messed up? Oh, this is different.
No?
No, this, not the look, but the...
We always do the soft touch on the,
Apparently mine was just screwed up the whole time.
Look.
I got, I think, a hand-me-down from Erica or Kim.
You might have, and they might have loved it a lot.
We should play a game. The first page you open to is like the next, or for sure. What should it be? The first character you open to, you have to create a character.
Oh yeah, the next character you have to, okay.
Or should it be first page you open and the first line you read is how your night's gonna be?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Some spells also require an attack roll that doesn't work.
Maybe it does. Maybe she's gonna get a little feisty tonight.
I should have.
She is going to like a network or industry party.
It doesn't work.
Maybe she's gonna cast some.
The elemental is friendly to you and your companions for the duration.
Ooh, and you did meet the new boss. Oh.
I didn't meet anyone, Nathan.
Nothing. I didn't
Listen, a single gal can dream. Now, Fine, how about the next character? So apparently he wants me to be a druid. There, what is this? There, I'm...
Combat.
Okay, but...
You got to do the first half of the book for characters.
Well, hold on.
Yeah. It is a druid.
Is it still?
Yeah.
This is the same page, it keeps pulling me. But also, she's hot.
And kind of fierce, right?
I want to be her.
Yeah. Very in tune
Who
with
is
nature.
this? Does she have a specific name? I feel like
I don't know if she does. She's just kind of our prototypical female druid.
I really like her. I think I want to be
Are you going to cosplay her next year?
Maybe, but with less midriff, shall we?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you can put some animal skins, maybe do some, yeah, there we go.
Anyway,
Okay,
that
cool.
was a
So
cool
now
game for me.
you don't have to
Thank
be
you.
embarrassed of your,
I was really embarrassed.
oh, I put them
Oh
in
my
upside
God,
down.
these are great.
Good. We are super proud of our stuff. We've got great designers and they do really fun stuff.
We could keep that there if you want.
We can do whatever. Don't forget to take it back.
I'm not pleased. How could I? It's so heavy. I'd be like, where's my giant heavy thing?
Where's my giant heavy thing? Well, you drove up, right? So we can load up the
drove
back
up,
of your
yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can, if you'd like to.
All right. Well, and also I mentioned the Battle Mage guys up in Calabasas. They brought us down a cooler of beer. And you know, you can't take any liquid on the plane over the 3.4 ounces.
So that means we have to drink it?
So that definitely means I can't take any of those. So whatever we don't drink, you're taking home.
Oh my God.
Although you guys live in LA too, so I mean, I guess we got a couple people
Well, I'm
driving
going
back
to
up.
Joshua Tree for the night. Don't tell my people who I work with.
Really?
I have to leave
You're
Monday
sneaking
morning
it in?
to shoot. I'm sneaking in either a half day at Joshua Tree, or I'm going to go back Monday morning and then fly out Monday.
Now, have you ever done
Afternoon.
Wasteland? Do you know this?
No, you mean Pappy and Harriet's?
What is it?
What's Wasteland?
Google Wasteland. Google.
I just know Wasteland as a store on Melrose.
No, so Wasteland is this like cosplay, like Mad Max cosplay disconnect. Think like a little Woodstock in the sense it's very kind of
It's a
cooperative.
festival?
It's, yeah, well, kinda. It's an art installation
All the
thing.
time?
No, they do it once a year. If you talk to Misty, she's done it for a bunch of years.
All right.
Do the stuff, but it's very like no technology. It's very like community co-op. It's very everyone who has a campsite there has to create something. It's got to be some kind of artistic, creative thing.
There's a bug.
And a lot of people go do that,
Get
but
out.
it's also very kind of like post-apocalyptic wasteland theme.
So that girl would fit in.
She would fit in
The
pretty
Druid.
well. Yeah.
No, we're gonna I think go to Pappy and Harriet's, which is like a famous bar there.
Pappy and Harriet's. Sounds pretty cool.
And then I'm gonna not drink so I can drive.
So you can, yeah, be safe. Yesterday, Pelham and Kelen, which has been confusing those two a lot this weekend, and we did lunch after the stream yesterday, and it was hilarious because we go up and there's these three nice hostesses behind the counter kind of stuff, and we're asking for the table, and we're like, oh yeah, hang on, we'll look for a thing, and one of them is kind of like looking and and we commented on her shirt because it was Threat Level Midnight, which is an Office reference.
With Michael Scott, and I said, nice shirt.
And she said, and then Kellen like didn't know the reference at first or whatnot, and she goes, and that's funny, I think I would know it. I was on The Office, and she goes.
No, I said, do you think I know? And she goes, oh, why? Because you watch it? And I go, well, yeah, but I was also on it.
And she looks, she goes, oh! And so she's like, oh my God, I thought I recognized. And so then all of a sudden she connected the dots. And then not only that though, but like she comes over, she sees us, she goes, so my boyfriend also works here.
And he's wearing the matching shirt.
And we're like wearing matching shirts.
But he's on his break.
And can he, like, are you still going to be here? And it was like, an hour later, whatnot. And we're like, yes, we'll still be. And so she comes over, and they were so cute and so sheepish and so fun or whatnot. But it was really funny because, like just the, being down here at Comic-Con, you've got, all these different celebs, you got all these different cosplayers and stuff. And Pell and I just walk around, right? And like, everyone's just like, nice shirt, dude. I'm like, cool, like your shirt, But then
I got a lot of comments on my hat,
on your
hat?
The
D&D hat.
Yeah, but then to go and actually have someone be like, oh my God, I love your work.
It wasn't that extreme, okay. But
you guys took photos. There was a lot of hugging.
I took a few photos. I just took one downstairs. It's really nice. People love, they love these shows and this world. I mean, I don't know if The Office ever came to Comic-Con, like something like that. I feel like nowadays, if it was on, people
totally would, right? Because there's Brooklyn Nine-Nine subway over
but
there.
I don't think,
there's The Good Place.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in town for different shows, and we want to get, we wanted them to drop by, but they're all busy doing required interviews.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, let's meet up at night, and then they can't meet up until after their parties, it seems.
Well, so you've never played D&D with Dylan Sprouse, right?
No.
He played with...
I don't know him, but he's in New York, you said.
Yeah, he's in New York, but he used to play, when he was splitting time a little less busy, he was doing some shows with us. And so I was hitting up to ask him about it. He was like, no, I'm shooting in Atlanta next week and stuff. And he goes, my brother's out there doing stuff. And I said, oh, well, you should stop by. I go give him some swag. And he goes, all right, hang on, I'll tell him. And so he's like, he wants to, and he's like working all,
That's
like,
what everybody said. They're like, oh, I want to come by. And then they've gotten and they're like, dude, I'm swamped. And then I asked someone, how's your day? And the answer I got was, too much. How was yours?
Really?
So it's just, this is like, it's really fun, but it's mostly really fun for the fans.
Yeah.
It's, if you love, that's what I'm learning. It's my second ever, but it was my first time in the actual convention.
Yeah.
And it's really for the fans, and then, people love it. Like, I think the people that work it love it, but it is a lot of work for them.
Well, especially day 3 and 4, you start to just like, it's great, but it's a lot.
Your voice is almost gone.
Yeah.
But then mine's gone not from like partying or being crazy. It's gone from like being in places with loud music and having to talk over it and not having correct breath support.
What is that?
Well, there's a way you talk. Yeah, I wasn't.
Breath support.
Oh, Nathan is learning so well.
The planes and trains fall mainly in the Spains. How's it? Did I get it close? No. The rain in Spain falls mainly in the plains?
Yes.
Yes.
The rain in Spain falls mainly. Yeah.
Yes. But believe it or not, I'm not like, when I go to New York, I see 6 shows.
That's my Fair Lady.
But I have seen a lot of musicals.
Which ones?
Well, my favorite, I've seen Les Mis like 9 times. I've seen it, I think, in 4 different countries.
Once is long, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I like that one.
Not that I don't like it, but...
and then one of my favorite ones is technically not a musical. It's kind of a ballet, but it's also got an operatic thing, which is Carmina Burana.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
And that one's super
like
powerful.
Carmen?
Huh?
Carmen,
bum, 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 bum. That one, have you ever heard that?
I really want you to keep going.
Yeah, I don't know it after that. So that one's really cool. I've seen Peter Pan. I've seen, obviously, Miss Saigon. I've seen...
Miss Saigon's in LA. Haven't seen it yet.
I've seen Grease was pretty fun in terms of stuff. I did not get to see Mean Girls. I think you saw Mean Girls.
I saw a bunch. I saw Hadestown, which was won the Tony for Best Musical. Mean Girls. I'm trying to think of musicals that I saw. And then I saw Secret Life of Bees.
I've heard of that one.
And then it's new. And then the guy who did Spring Awakening, the music, Duncan Sheik, he did that music. But I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Dear Evan Hansen.
Which one?
Dear Evan Hansen.
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that yet, but Book of Mormon is amazing.
Yeah, that's fun.
There's a lot that is really good.
Yeah.
Waitress is really good. I have friends that were.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I
Waitress.
would have actually liked to have seen that one. Ryan Verniere wants to know if we're doing this, Pelham. You want to get him mic'd up? Yeah. Okay. So...
Dungeons and Dragons musical? The musical?
Greg Tito would shit himself. He would love to do Dungeons and Dragons. Matter of fact, the Descent that we just did, his pitch for it was to do D&D the musical. And I said, I think you're a little early. I think we're missing your mark. Come on, Ryan, we're doing this. Let's do this.
We're doing it.
Doing it and doing it and doing it.
Doing it well. Okay, that's doing it. Doing it. Anyway.
Do you want to go down first a second to get Ryan mic'd?
Should we? Yeah, let's go down.
We're gonna take a break and get someone.
When we come back though, Ryan Verniere, who is actually holds the world record for holding his breath.
You like to make things up. I believed you for 2 seconds.
Pizza.
5, 4. Pelham, count us in.
5, 4, 3.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. You know, when it got old, like the second through like 30th time, but now that we're way past it.
Good. I'm glad you feel good about it.
Yeah. So, well, you know, like I don't have the looks, I don't have the talent, I don't have any kind of formal training or whatnot. So I got to go with cheap jokes.
Okay.
Right?
You
Have
were
you
so
met
right.
our next
I have.
friend?
We
So this
have
is
met
Ryan
Ryan.
Verniere.
This is our third
Ryan
meeting.
Verniere.
Third meeting.
Third meeting.
Well, this is his second time being in this spot at Comic-Con.
I'm
What?
honored.
Yeah.
What?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So I don't know if you know. So there's a game out called League of Legends, which is kind of a big deal. Although to be fair, Dungeons and Dragons and Magic together also kind of big deals. So I think we're kind of all like in this sphere.
We're
of,
like
we've
big
got,
deal game people,
We
I
got
guess.
these fan bases and these cool games and worlds that people love, and we get the chance to actually go and talk and the pleasure of like representing these things that mean so much to people. So we're kind of all in that club of our job's the greatest.
I'm but a humble emissary.
Yeah, and then we
of the
think
League
our
of
job is
Legends.
the greatest. Then we meet her and Joe, and we're like, "Damn it! I thought my job was the greatest."
No, we're all,
You have
we're all very
amazing
lucky.
jobs.
Yeah.
We're all very lucky.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
suck to be us. But also, besides doing that, he has played D&D for a little while. He's a dungeon masters.
Oh, 30 years. Yeah, just a couple days.
Just
And
a couple days.
I just taught her
It's
today.
27 years longer than me. Or
I taught her
26.
today what a murder hobo was.
Oh, I'm sorry and
Yes,
congratulations.
I
Yeah.
now
You may
can,
be
I
one.
now can do that. Yeah,
You
I
may
could.
be one.
Well, she says that someone else in her party's a murder hobo.
Erica likes to steal things off of people. You have to
Yeah, I
do.
mean, it happens. It's a brand that I both love and hate, right? You know, I like role play, I like consistency and storytelling, and then sometimes, you know, the night gets long. Some people imbibe or are just tired tantrumy,
Yeah.
and then you get some murder hobo
It
behavior.
happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think D&D in general. So one of the things that you being newer in the hobby, you haven't gone through like all the 5 stages of grief with D&D.
No.
And so
What are those?
What are you doing right now, Nathan? All
there's
right.
just these different phases that you go through, and so there's some point in D&D where it's like all about the loot. You're just like, I
Yeah.
want stuff, I want loot, I want to get
That's-
new.
yeah.
Sure,
right, so
the early years.
Right, yeah. And so you're just like that, and so you're just like, what does he have on him, right? And it's like, he's got 2 coppers and a silver, and like, how's his boots? Like, how's his stuff? You're like, what
Before
are you
the
gonna
body
do with
is
him?
cold, people
Yeah.
are arguing about like, is there a gold tooth in there? Let me just take a look, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's the wrong. You want people focused on other things.
And
but
my
that's
favorite thing is like,
But it's
okay,
kind of
so I got a
fun.
bag of like gold fillings and old bracers. What do I do with this?
Nook did have a bag of, I believe it was frost giant fillings
God,
for a long
really?
time. He's all right.
Did
well,
Nook die?
Merrill's
Dead.
Merrill's killed
Mike
him.
Merrill's killed
Mike
him.
Merrill's killed my character who had survived.
Longest running character, like how many years?
I mean, I kept him alive for officially like 27 years.
Whoa.
And Mike Merrill's, you met Mike Merrill's on our team. He's like our lead
no, I don't
creative.
think.
Yeah, killed him dead, like murdered him.
Yeah, he kind of snuck me into like, he's like, I'm gonna be in town. Let's do a little, classic Dungeons and Dragons. You can play Nook. I was like, oh wow, that sounds terrific.
You
The
had a character that everybody knew.
Yeah, it was sort of like an urban legend amongst the D&D
Oh.
community.
Yeah.
And then, he murked him within like the first 10 minutes. I did get resurrected at the end, but it's like, it counts. It counts.
Yeah.
I had never
Do
been
you
dropped
still play
before.
the character, or do you keep it, or are you
Have you played
retiring?
him since then?
I haven't. I'm on the fence. When they resurrected Nook, they had stitched a bugbear face on top of his face before bringing him back to life. So when he woke up and like looked in the mirror, it was the spit take, like, who am I?
What?
And that's
So
where
inside it's Nook, but on the outside he looks like a bugbear.
that's the official canon. I don't know. He works for you, man. I don't know. That's yeah.
I don't know that I control him though. I mean,
That's
work for
the-
me is a really loose
the
term.
official
He
D&D
reports
canon.
to me. That's a different thing.
Yeah, Nook has a bugbear face.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's one of the fun things you have to look forward to. Fast forward like a decade, like when you've been playing and stuff, you get in these different games with different people, and then all of a sudden you get these kind of personas that carry on, and then stories come out of it. And so, like, if you ever see Joe look at me and be like, "These are not the hands of a baker," it's because my guy plays as this pastry chef and a baker,
Ganache.
And he's like, "What do you mean you're a
I've played
baker?
with
You like
Ganache.
murder people?" I'm
Nook
like,
has played with Ganache.
Yeah, that's right, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Wait, was that in the Space Vampires?
That's right.
Oh my God, that was an epic.
So you played together a
epic.
bunch.
Once.
No.
We
Oh,
played
once.
one time
Once.
actually. That was the night I met you.
But it was an epic.
It was a
so
lovely night.
Chris Perkins dungeon mastering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've told you Chris
Yes.
Perkins, best dungeon master on the planet.
Yes.
And he was running through some playtest stuff, some stuff that is way not coming into the frame for a while.
Such a tease.
And different stuff. And he had like this kind of really like I don't want to say all-star cast at Joe's house, but like a really eclectic mix of like fun personalities, right?
Yeah.
Because we had Travis Willingham from Critical Role, we had
Lovely
you, we
okay.
had Chris, we had me, we had Joe.
You and I balanced out the talented people.
Yeah, we did. I mean, like we were the only ones at the table who like don't legitimately like have a following of 2 million people.
No.
Like yeah.
No.
It
But
was,
you should.
well, I mean,
thank
we're working
you.
on it. We're
Thank
working
you.
on it.
Especially with the like the hair, the glasses,
The ball,
the
the hair,
looking.
the dwarf
I've never
body.
really
You guys
asked
just
you
are
to
killing
comment
this
on the
look.
hair.
I mean, if you had to do it, this is the way you do.
This is how you age gracefully.
This is right.
This is right.
This
That's
is
right. That's right.
By the way, do you ever forget
I condition,
your
yeah.
age?
Oh, sorry. What? No.
You condition your beard? I condition my
condition.
beard.
Gotta condition your
When
beard.
it's your length. Not
gotta
What
when
do
it's
you
mine.
use in your beard? Actually, I've been talking
I
about
use
this with
narwhal
someone.
fat. No, I don't. I use raw butter like any sane person.
Yeah. Actually, I use coconut oil.
Yeah, I mean, I just use
But like
whatever's
that
in the
slab
thing.
of
I'm
my-
using actual butter.
I use
No,
what
the coconut oil.
I use whatever
Like
my
you
wife
get
gives
the
me.
jar at Costco. It's like a really big dab of. By the way, his wife.
Coconut
is
oil's great.
His wife is
Not
a
on my
lovely
beard,
woman.
but
I've
on
met
my-
her as well.
That's right. She likes.
She didn't come though, did she?
No, unfortunately not. She's busy doing
Also,
fancy fashion
Can I
stuff.
share a story that I
Ooh.
heard yesterday about how it was that you came down here?
Go
You
ahead.
weren't necessarily planning to be down here, and I think Joe, like, have you ever seen Old School?
Yeah.
You know when the van pulls up and just
Yeah.
like and open the
Grabs
door, like
people.
grab and
Yeah.
throw them in? That's what happened to him.
No.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I said no 3 times, and then.
And then Damon and Joe stop over and like throw him in
Yeah.
the car. Next thing I know, Instagram, I see the 3
shut
of
up,
them
bro.
driving
Get in the
shit
car.
at you.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
actually that sounded.
Thank you.
I feel like
I
yeah.
do some stuff.
How
You don't
long-
know, I was the Swiss Miss boy back in the 80s. No, I
The
sold,
Swiss Miss.
I sold some chocolate milk or whatever the hell that shit was.
Hot chocolate.
Sorry, I'm swearing. That's right.
You're allowed to swear.
You're booked.
Thanks.
I'm
Got
fired.
it.
Yeah.
I'm fired.
Wow.
That was like
Did,
the
but
only.
did you act?
Yeah, no,
Back in the day?
that was the only thing I did. Then I was
You
like,
really
Mom.
did that?
That's
Oh
like
yeah,
heaven.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that wasn't just making it up on the
No,
spot?
no.
I can tell when people. I mean, I
No,
can't tell
you
when you
can't.
lie, but I can tell when other people.
No, that's a real thing. I did it for. I
That's truthful.
guess I paid our rent for like 1 month. And I'm
Wow.
like,
Awesome.
Mom, I don't want.
The closest I ever came to being in a commercial, so I've worked marketing my whole life and stuff, and so I was over at Xbox, and I'm reviewing this commercial, and the shtick of it is Xbox is doing a price drop, and it's like you see the eyes of this like kid, right, and he's looking at the thing, and it's like, Nathan Sherman is thinking about getting an Xbox. He's thinking about blah, blah, blah. He's not thinking about the man who's gonna like destroy, and then you pan out and it's a wrestling match, and the guy like throws him, pins him, and now his leg's like broken over his head.
All right.
And
Okay.
so we go to Gotza, who's the advertising manager, and we're like, can we make it Nathan Stewart? Like, you already have Nathan Sherman. And she goes, are you cool? I'm like, I'll sign whatever you want. So then when it actually aired, it was Nathan Stewart is thinking about getting an Xbox.
Oh, that's great. That's
and
your
then I get
cameo.
destroyed, yeah.
Wonderful. I like
Nice.
that concept.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have to act or be talented or be on screen. So
That's good because
Yeah.
that would have been terrible.
Yeah, that was
But your name was there.
You were
my
like
name.
by name
Yeah.
cameo.
You
I'm
ever
kidding.
Google yourself?
I have,
that's
but you know,
bad.
oddly, I think I've Googled myself to look at what, because someone said they needed a photo for something.
So you looked up your
And I
own
had
photo?
to. Well, you had to because of like you have to post crap for the person who gave you let you borrow the dress,
Oh yeah.
Or-
and it was the worst thing I've ever done.
Okay.
Oh,
So
no.
you presumably have Googled yourself.
I have, and I don't do it.
Everyone
I don't do it a
has.
lot, but I try to see if milestones in life, like little victories,
Like,
matter
like
to
they
the great
pop up.
algorithm that
So-
runs us all.
Same kind of thing. I would just every now and then check on
Yeah.
stuff, especially after like a big show or a
Okay,
thing. and
yeah,
see
do
if
people
pop-
like it, or-
And then, son of a bitch, some actor named Nathan Stewart Jared came on the scene, and now I am so far below the fold it doesn't even matter.
So my dad is a film critic, and so whenever I'm like blah 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 Verniere, it's like my dad like,
You're like, "Thanks,
limiting
Dad."
my career options
Thanks,
by not
Dad.
liking movies professionally. No, I don't.
I guess it's hard with the more, but that's not a typical last name.
No, I don't. It's
It's a typical last
French?
name
It's
in the
French by way of
personal
Sicily.
loans,
Yeah,
What'd you say?
So
It's a pretty typical name in the personal loan department.
DL mafia jokes. All right, yeah, Dungeons and
We're
Dragons.
going. We're doing
Dungeons
this.
and Dragons. All right.
So we played together. That was an epic one. Ganache, actually, I think you've saved Ganache's ass more than once on that one.
Yeah, you
because-
were a wreck. Someone had to.
Oh my goodness, it was crazy because we had
No,
a
you're
drow and there was a lot of cloud kill stuff going on, and
There were big
We were
effects.
getting wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I expected Chris. I don't know what I expected from Chris. I didn't follow. I followed his stream like, occasionally, and I would see a lot of role play happening. And then we got to the table, and I felt like he served up a lot of pain, and
Yeah.
that was unexpected.
Well, I think he also kind of was like, wait, this is a pretty veteran group. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna
He was
go
like, oh,
there.
it's nothing but old dogs and Nathan
Yeah.
and Ryan. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then me tries to kill because like I'm his boss, and so you're
So
like,
he doesn't try to kill you, goes for other
no,
people?
he tries to kill me.
Oh, he does?
Oh no, yeah, you'd think
He
it would be
should.
the opposite, but
Right.
no, it's a target.
This should
Yeah.
be a perk.
Yeah.
Because the only time he gets to do that.
But it was a great game.
Yeah. Although, did you hear the story? So Chris Erb, who runs our lifestyle agency, he actually used to work at Wizards. So he was on D&D for 3rd edition, and so Chris worked for him back in the day, and he made him like join his game. But Chris Erb, like I don't know, he didn't want to, or he wasn't, and so he kind of like was trolling him a little bit. So he made his character Johnny Utah, and Chris is like, no. He's like, no. And he goes, what are you talking about? Why can't it be Johnny Utah? And so he comes in, and so like 10 minutes in, Chris kills him, and Chris Erb is just like, all right, I'm out. You killed me. So Johnny Utah's dead.
So just left. Did
I mean,
he
there's
sleep?
I mean, so this is actually something that I both love, but I think does need to be addressed. It's like there is no wrong way to play Dungeons and Dragons. However, you
can mess it up.
You
Oh.
have to talk to your squad. You have
Yeah.
to talk to your dungeon master. You have to talk to the other players about
We
what
should
you're bringing
probably
to the table.
we should probably do an amendment on that. There's no wrong way to play, but it's a group game.
You have to be considerate.
So as long as the
Yeah.
group feels that you guys are playing
about
this way.
collaboration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's collaboration, right? So so there's no wrong way as long as you all agree.
Yeah, I'm Jimmy Wrinkle, the sentient pile of pillows. It's like, why? That's not even in the player's guide. It's like, or maybe you were a spell gone wrong. We're gonna fix you. Who do you really want to be?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a prince. So, like you can, but you have to yes and figure out what your group wants to
Right,
do.
that's a good point. Yes, and.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an improv term.
That's an improv.
Yes, and, because you don't want to negate someone's.
all I know.
It's really
Yeah.
good. You don't want to negate someone's choice or what they say to you. If you're trying to create a scene, if you're trying to create something, you don't want to stop and be like, no, that's not right. You say yes, and you can build
I
on
learned the
it.
yes and when I was trying to hit on Kim Williams.
Which one's Kim Williams?
That was the gal in drama club that I was. Yeah, so I did the yes
Oh,
and.
the big
for her.
one. But so I have. There's
Chivalry's not dead.
I've played with someone before.
No, I joined drama club because I wanted to date
That
this girl,
doesn't everyone
Kim.
play music or do drama because they're trying to meet a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
I wasn't smart enough, but I mean, I could have used that advice.
Okay, so
So you were just in it to be like.
I was just
for the
holding a
passion.
monster's manual alone in the park.
So you're gonna
For years.
You're gonna appreciate this then. So I did the panel with Jim Zub.
Jim's great.
About the Rick and Morty Dungeons and Dragons crossover. So if you read the first, I don't know what to call it. I was gonna say the first campaign. I don't know what you call comics. The first set,
Series?
the first arc. Yeah. Basically, Morty wants to get into D&D so that he can get a date with this girl. It works, and I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. Like D&D is actually helping him get a date.
I love the commentary.
Yeah.
It's a brave new world.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would have been like the Brad Pitt of my high school. If the sensibilities
if that was
of
the
today
currency.
existed.
You know what? I think that today it is changing. Like people really value people who are creative and doing their own thing and like don't care what it looks like on the outside.
I love it.
It's much different today.
It was
Well-
like Lord of the Flies in the 80s.
See,
It was terrible.
for me, I wore so many different hats and personas in that one that I don't know if I didn't share it.
Because you're mischievous. You're
I
like
don't
a
know-
Loki-like figure
I don't know if I
in
didn't.
real life.
I don't know if I didn't wear that hat at school because of the embarrassment of my mouth, or if it's just because I had too many hats I was trying to wear.
Yeah, I get it.
I was also just trying not to get beat up. I mean, I was like literally one
But
of the
do
only.
people really
I was one of
beat
the.
up?
Well, no, I mean, I was only one of the only white kids at my school.
I was
I was a
pushed into a
minority in
locker.
my school.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, that's actually probably a very healthy, challenging yet healthy way to gain interesting
No, it helps me
perspective.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, as an adult, I value it tremendously because I never ever want to pretend to ever be in the shoes of a black person in America because I got to be honest, like we're
Any
assholes.
minority.
But at the same time, like I went to school and so there was Summer and I forget Summer's brother was a year older than us, so we were the three white kids. And then it was predominantly Hispanic, African American, and Cambodian in this school. And like, I did not know any other. I mean, we lived in I lived with my Mexican.
When did your
uncle and
first
aunt.
game group start, though?
Well, this was my cousin, but he was out of school, so I was living there.
okay.
But he was like 20 or 21. I was 12, and so I played with
So
a
it was
bunch
an
of
older DM.
Yeah.
That was the same for me. I mean,
But we didn't like playing with Carlos because Carlos was all into TPKs and kind of a dick.
So unfortunately, that's my okay.
Yeah,
Well,
okay,
you just
so
have
you
to
know.
tell a compelling story. I like to kill people too, but
Okay.
to answer your question, yeah, there was bullying, and there was I was pushed into a locker once. Books
Yeah.
were dumped. Like it was like Yeah, it was a weird time. It was a weird era.
Were you the only one? Did you have people to play with when you were younger?
I had some older friends who played who were in the first year of college. And so I would just, do high school, get it done, go to the park, open the Monsters Manual, meditate, center my chakras, and then go to someone else's house and play in an older game.
Play with college kids.
It was great, yeah, and it was really good. It also sort of was a bridge to, yes, there's the horror stories, and those are like great for, telling stories about, oh my God, it was so horrible. But in reality, D&D built this bridge that made all that stuff irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
And it was a relatively short period of time.
When you think about it, well, when I don't want to rob sort of people who are going through high school.
Yeah.
They're like, this is the worst. Those 4 years feel like 400 years.
Well, I promise
but
you,
then
after
it
high
is
school is
short.
way better.
Yeah, it gets better, right? Yeah,
But
exactly.
the other part of it too is I don't know if you guys saw the Loot Crate commercial they put out a few years ago. Really touching. Like I almost cried a little bit on this thing. So it's this, and because I kind of related to it a little bit because it was a new kid in town, right? And he kind of sees this flyer for like a one adventure and a thing whatnot. And so he's super nervous, like he doesn't know anyone to do the thing. So he goes over to this house in the neighborhood and kind of knocks on the door, and there's this kid on the other side, and he's kind of got the flyer and whatnot. And you can see the fear on his face, like oh, am I going to be accepted? And the guy there's like, Mom, make some more cookies. We got a new player at the table. And then they go downstairs, and then you see this friendship evolve over time, and it kind of time lapse. And you see them grow up through the thing to become adults, and then it ends. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry now.
I see his eyes watering.
Make him cry.
And then at the end of it, this kid who
like
did
a
this thing and
dinner.
whatnot, all of a sudden you see this little girl bring up a plate of cookies as his daughter, and she wants to join the group in the thing, and you're just like,
But they're all dead, and then they eat her because they're skeletons.
And it was
And then we
amazing.
smash to black, and death metal music starts
Thank you,
playing,
yes.
and then your brand logo comes up.
ooh,
It's
okay.
good.
I'm so
And we're
proud
back.
of your
And we're back.
sensitiveness.
That was too real.
It happens every
Feelings.
But that was
Feelings.
the Loot Crate commercial that they did.
No, it's lovely. I mean,
I didn't
it's
touch
lovely.
it. That
I'm
was
just,
them.
I'm just, emotionally unavailable, so I had to interrupt that moment.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Although,
Seriously, I would have loved to date you because I love
Can I tell her and them your story about how you met your wife?
Yeah, sure.
please
Go
tell me for
ahead.
D&D.
Go ahead.
No, but it's
But
in
nerd
the geek.
culture?
It's in the geek
Geekdom.
geekosphere.
It's
so,
D&D adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and correct me on all the parts where I get wrong because there'll be lots. But
Sure.
So your wife worked at a comic book store.
She
or a
did.
hobby
She was
store?
managing a comic book store.
A comic book store, and so he was a regular there and would go in and stuff. And
Yeah.
and he, like I, often wears kind of the the t-shirts and the tats and the kind of
This
stuff.
is the normal thing.
Yeah, kind of stuff. And I think they had this I want to say burgeoning friendship, but maybe on her side she was thinking that it was going further, and us being inept men kind of didn't know where things were
didn't
going.
get that she was into it.
And so he's like going on a date or something.
Well, I want to
and,
give a
like,
strict piece of concept. I don't think, young people of the world, that you should hit on people while they're at work. Because they are usually being paid to be polite to you, and you might misread that. So I was like, just don't do it.
But also, I get the feeling from the stories that you weren't like, you were a regular there. Like you guys had multiple occasions of getting to talk.
She was very quiet. I wasn't sure if she spoke English as a native
really?
language, and I was just like, but yes, she was like beautiful, of course.
Yeah.
And but I was like,
and
yeah,
it's
she's
like-
at work. Don't mess with her.
She's pretty, and she's in a comic book store. But so he's
Yeah,
going on like
exactly.
a date. He's
Control your- oh, yeah, so I got
he's-
gussied up.
So he comes in, and he's all
Gussied up.
gussied up.
Yeah.
And he's like going on a date, and so she like calls him out, like, why are you all dressed up or whatnot?
Yeah.
And he says he's going on a date, and she basically like yells at him, like, what the
She
hell?
turned bright red. She walked away from the register, walked in the back, and another woman came out and was like, I will help you with the rest of your transaction. I was like,
Because she was
What
pissed
just-
'cause she
what just
wanted-
happened?
She wanted him asking her out, and he's
Yeah.
sitting there like flaunting that he's going on a date with someone else.
Because you had no
yeah, and
idea
then,
she
and
was
then
into it.
she asked me out, and we got chicken wings, and then we got married the next day. The end.
You got married the next
No,
day?
no, it was
Okay,
no,
thank
no.
God.
but
I was
that's-
like, this is
It was
real.
a couple years.
Like, it
Couple
You know what
years.
I love?
Couple years
So
went
she
by, and
plays
then
in
we
a
got
land of make believe, but all of us D&D people, like, we deliver the lines so effectively. She's like, really?
I'm a very
I'm
talented
like this
writer.
to
So.
anyone.
That's true. You are a very talented
But
writer.
I cannot
Yeah.
take
He,
sarcasm.
if
I
any of
can
you guys
give
have
it.
played
No, but
video
that was-
games, he writes all the
That was very
grunts.
good.
No,
That was very good.
stop.
It was straightforward. And then I got married the next day.
No,
and then it was
man. We worked on Tigtone on Adult Swim. Season 2 is going to come out soon, and yeah.
Was that with Titmouse?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Adult Swim.
You know that she's been in a bunch of cartoons.
Of course.
You know how many
in a bunch of
cartoons?
stuff. I don't know.
9.
That's a
I've
lot.
not been in 9 cartoons.
17.
70.
70.
That's
71.
great.
She was
I'm
on BoJack
Congratulations.
Horseman.
Really? Oh, I love that show.
Then-
What?
She was on
Fun.
American Dad.
Why are you saying these things?
It's very
Am,
cool
am
stuff.
I wrong?
I mean, you're right.
I've got
Okay,
one.
then.
I worked on one cartoon.
You worked on it? You wrote it?
I was in the writer's room. Yeah.
Amazing.
Nice.
That's it. One. I got
Now,
one to her
can
20.
I ask a
My
question? I've asked
still
this a
small
lot.
ones.
Tell me about the writer's room. Like, is it an actual room? And like when you go in, it does it say on the door writer's room?
No, it's a bouncy house.
Is it
We
a
rent it and we
virtual
put it in the
room?
parking lot. What?
Is it a virtual room? I mean, all of you together?
No, it's. I mean, this is all simulation, of course. So it's
Yeah.
everything's virtual. But
Oh.
we're in a room. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're in a room. You're in a room with a bunch of people, and
Wait, so where are we right now? Not here.
we're in a wooden room in San Diego.
But why is it so wooden?
I mean, I kind of like plywood. I
like
dig
too.
it. It reminds me of a
It's for-
treehouse.
You know what? It's a lot less
It's a
work
fort,
and
right?
good look.
We're up
Yeah,
in a
right.
fort.
Yeah.
It's good texture. Anyway, it's a room filled with writers, and then you order like 3 lunches, and then you go home.
Okay, but on
You
the
make
thing,
sure
are
that's
you
how it
writing
works.
like an episode? Or are you writing like a season?
Some will get assigned. Some writers will get assigned an episode and write it, but like a season will usually be broken at. It's like it. I always and I give a talk about this how D&D and the writers' room. It's like very similar. The Venn diagram overlaps because
of the collaborative
Well, the lead
storytelling.
writer's kind of like the dungeon master, and everyone else is sort of like a player, and you bring this whole season and arc together, and then.
So, like in D&D, are you both? Have you been both a lead writer and an adventurer?
On my projects on the variety side of things, yes, and
Yeah.
then for T-Tome, I was but a soldier in the room, but it was such a great experience and with a talented group of people.
I would like to be in a writer's room once, not to actually.
You would have to be qualified first, but then if that happened,
No, not to write, just to like listen, because I imagine that all this funny stuff that comes up that doesn't make it in the thing, because I imagine there's a lot of making each other laugh,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
in a comedy thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, so, and I'm imagining like a third
What
if
ends up
that
on the floor.
ends up on the page.
way more than a third, I
Yeah.
would say. But yeah, no, it's good. It's a great
Yeah.
experience.
So I would, because I got a really fun experience where I got to be over at Paramount, and Chris Perkins was DMing for a bunch of different writers coming in. So they had a bunch
wow.
of comedy writers coming in,
Okay.
and a couple
nice.
different sessions. And so I got to watch comedy writers who are used to be in comedy rooms or writing rooms come in and just play Dungeons and Dragons with Chris Perkins. And let me tell you,
That
it
sounds
took about
cool.
5 or 10 minutes for them to get comfortable with each other, and then it got funny. And they all were really polite about sharing.
That's nice.
being
You
funny.
wouldn't think that. You'd think they'd all be going over each other.
Well, I
'cause
think it was
it's
because they kind of
someone
didn't know
trying to
each
be
other and they
funniest.
didn't have
It's like
an.
the improv
Yeah.
influence. It's no longer stand-ups.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like improv.
Right.
I think it's going
But it was
that
pretty
way.
good. And then
Yeah.
Chris Perkins, as you can vouch for and I can vouch for, like plays the room well, so he helps kind of pull people in a bit. You know,
He could be a cult leader if he didn't work for you guys.
totally could. I actually have mentioned that to him. I'm
He's
like,
got
if you
those
retire
Dulce eyes.
and
Yeah,
you want to
not-
just
yeah.
start a cult, you know, there's a lot of money in it.
Good.
A lot
Easily.
of money. I used to
Easily.
work for a guy also who had that kind of charisma level. So I used to work at Rockstar Games.
Okay.
And
How many places have you worked? So many places. I've heard like 5 names
It's
in
a
the past 3
complex
days.
CV.
6.
CV. He used CV. Remember? I said it was resume.
Going
you said
back,
CV.
bringing it back.
CV is British, very British.
Is it?
No, it's Latin.
But I mean, like that's
it's
what they
Latin.
use in Europe, as they say CV.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it's
knew
because
that.
I
So
never
I
asked
used
her
to
to
work at
turn me to
Rockstar
CV.
Games, and
This is like name dropping, man.
And
My
Sam,
God.
and Sam Hauser was such a charismatic guy. Like, if he would have told us, like, hey, let's go walk off this cliff, I think we would have done it first, then asked why later.
Don't walk off the cliffs, kids. All right.
But you know what I mean? Like, just being around someone with that level of charisma is amazing.
Yeah, no.
And Chris Perkins has it.
Which also,
in a weird way, because he would pretend he doesn't or think he does. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what he's up to. He knows.
He's a robot.
But yeah, that's why it's an attribute in your
to
game.
meet this
Charisma.
person.
Yeah.
It's important.
Charisma, it's important.
Yeah, that's why
Although-
0 charisma. ET,
Especially
remember?
if you're a bard.
Yeah, right?
You know what that's bringing it back to? That's bringing it back to the Rick and Morty D&D crossover, because Rick hates bards.
Why?
I love Rick.
I think you have to read
You have to.
campaign 2
To understand why.
because I think his first character that he ever made was a bard, and it was an utter failure. And so like from then on he's hated bards.
Alright.
And so like he's like, Rick, you can't be a fucking bard, get out of here. Like, yeah, no, we're PG-13, so you can say the F-bomb once.
You get one, you just used it,
Yeah.
so thanks.
So did I use it for the whole team? Do we
You're
each
giving
get
yourself
one?
your-
No, you get one. My God. You get one. That was
The
it.
whole episode?
It's gone now. Yeah, it just flew away.
Well, what else though? We get some of the other words.
I don't want to do this with you right now.
Right now, but you'll do it later with me?
I'm just watching. They're good together.
We actually
Super uncomfortable.
do play together well. Like we were sitting in this room, and it's funny because it was a lot of big personalities.
You're
There were some
playing
voice
last year?
actors.
Well, it's just like looking in a mirror, so.
Obviously, right. Very handsome. Very.
Facial.
You're a little more Italian than me, though, right? I'm like a quarter.
I mean, if that's
I'm like
code
a
for
quarter-
handsome, yes.
I'm
but
like a quarter Italian.
You're a quarter, yeah. Well, no, I'm like a quarter Sicilian. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm like, my family came through Ellis Island, like all the families.
Yeah.
And,
So
there were many things.
My grandpa did not, but his older brothers did.
Your grandpa just fell from the sky.
No, he was born in Missouri. Like, so
Oh,
his,
all right, okay.
So his mom,
Virgin birth.
His mom came over with his two older brothers, and then my grandpa
Okay,
was born
yeah.
here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I got to go back and see their village in Italy. And so they were from this tiny, tiny, tiny little town. It's not even like on maps. And then their village was up the side of this hill. So the whole town is pretty much just ancestors of my grandma and grandpa's
That's awesome.
family. And so they all like have keys to this gate that like takes you up this hill that's like village.
Wow, that's magical.
Yeah, and so I actually got to
That's
see
very
the literal room where my great grandmother was born.
Wow.
Because it was like communal living kind of. There was like a bakery, like a stone bakery thing in the middle of it. Yeah, it was really cool. If you haven't kind of dug into your Italian place of origin, it's really fun.
I think we know that we stole a lot of horses while we lived in France and had to run to Sicily. I think that's our family story.
See, and I love going back. It's
That's why
because the
French
history
and,
there is great. It's French Sicilian, yeah. That's
our
the thing.
family crest is like people stealing horses out of a barn.
You see the sun
and then
going
like
down.
knights chasing them. Yeah. And me, the dumpy one, tripping. Yeah, that's our family crest.
I rolled a 1. Okay, so first of all, have we talked enough D&D? I want to make sure we get the D&D ratio right, because my wife reminded me yesterday, like, hey, you guys are not really talking that much about D&D. And I said, good point.
But also D&D's about the people that play it.
No, and definitely, you
I
know,
think
but
it's
we
good
took-
advice.
We were
think your
talking
wife
about
is a wise
outposts and
lady.
different things, so I mean, it was good. Like, it's nice
Oh,
to
right,
keep you in
right.
balance.
Yeah.
Right. So first of all, I want to make sure we talked about that. Second of all, is Joe still working the register? Is he
Yeah,
coming
no,
up?
Joe and
Yes.
Damien are going
coming up in
to,
like a
Diesel
while,
Boy will
like-
be working the register
Yeah.
until the end.
Yeah. Did you know that Damon down there is a famous DJ called Diesel Boy?
Damien?
Yeah.
He told me yesterday
told you
when
he
I
was
met
famous?
him. No, he didn't say him since he's like a DJ.
That's
I
how
think he
Joe,
said-
that's how they met.
Oh yeah, he was a DJ that Joe,
Back in
they both lived in
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, and Joe tweeted him or something and said, hey, I like your music, and then we should get together or something, and Damien was like, yeah, I'm in New York, you're in New York, they were both in New York and they got together.
And then they knew each other
And
for
became
years
friends.
before, too.
Oh.
Wait, you were the one DJing at that thing? I went to that thing. Thursday nights. Yeah, and they had
That's
been in
crazy.
the
That's what
same
it's called.
room.
It's called drum and bass. Is that the?
That's whatever the kids call it now. I don't know. It's that oot music. Whatever,
Yeah, but
you
so
know?
like the drum and bass.
No, he's
thing,
very
like,
talented.
He is like legit, like top of his game. Like in that,
yeah,
Like
he's
house,
that-
he's like a rock star.
yeah, but in
He's
that
like a
genre,
rock
like he is.
He was a really
he's
nice
up
guy,
here.
and he
now-
and he designs great
But-
stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
But the other part of it is, to tie back to the Dungeons and Dragons, he did a Dungeons and Dragons album, and he got the guy who was the voice for Venger to like do the intro on the album, and, like lead into the.
Oh yeah, there is a secret playlist mix, if you will, that you would have to talk to Joe himself to explain. But yes, the voice actor who did Venger's voice
Yeah.
participated.
Yeah.
And and Diesel Boy can tell you more about that as well.
Yeah.
But,
That's
And now, speaking of Venger, did you see our commercial that we did in Brazil?
I did. I watched that, and it really brought a tear to my eye because I thought about how seamless the D&D cartoon back in the 80s brought this really diverse group of characters, and they never mentioned that it was diverse at all.
No.
And every kid who watched that cartoon just accepted it, and
Yeah.
it was like the early 80s.
Right? It
And
was
it's like, it wasn't like
two females, it was 3 colors, it was
people,
multiple ages.
people of color, like there was all of it, right?
All of
and
it.
then there was Uni,
And then Uni, who obviously is a metaphor for something, I don't know.
I mean, she's just a baby unicorn. She doesn't have to be complicated.
I haven't seen the cartoon. I should go back and watch it.
Well,
No.
you have a treat
We just
waiting
got
for
that as
you.
the cartoon once on a stream on Halloween.
I
You
got
have
season
to
1.
watch it.
I'll send you a copy of season 1.
I love it so much, and I mean, I would get up so early to
reboot
watch
it?
that thing on Saturday mornings. It was my favorite
It was,
cartoon.
and it was also pretty, I don't want to say aggressive, but it was pretty, not controversial even, but it pushed the envelope a little bit because it was
it
dealing,
wasn't dumb.
it was
I would
dealing
say
with some
it treated
topical
kids.
stuff.
Well, it put these young people in peril just like Stranger Things does, just
Yeah,
like
that's
E.T.
right.
did, right? So it's this whole children in peril genre. You don't know what that is as a kid, and you're just like, but you appreciate that the risks felt real.
Yeah.
Even to use, and you would be worried about
'cause
these
you were worried
characters.
about them, yeah.
It wasn't just like nothing bad is going to happen this episode. Go to sleep.
And also, by the way, man, you felt so bad. You're like, I hope they get home.
Well, that was actually my complicated feeling at the time because I wasn't sure I would want to go home.
So
And I
how
was
did
like-
you feel then as a fan that I let the Renault guys like take them home in this instance?
I thought that was lovely to see it play out in this sort of like alt,
Yeah.
canon lane.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that a few of them, more than one, would have stayed.
Interesting. Like
I
Hank,
think so.
Probably Hank.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
So, but the interesting on that one, and this is where when you're working as a licensor and different stuff, you don't want to go in the weeds in this, but like basically, these kids have been trying to get home forever, and in this commercial we did with them, like Presto basically just like conjures, like he could never do that, and if he could have done that, why didn't he do it years before, right?
Yeah.
Like so, and I didn't want to tell them, right? Like
Flapjack
no, that's not.
Nickelbacks, take me back!
That's all he would have said, and it would have just been over. Episode
so
one,
the only,
pilot, we're
so
back
the
on
only
Earth.
thing we really did with that in terms of being heavy-handed as an IP holder was we made sure that they nailed Tiamat. You got to get Tiamat right.
Looked good.
She had to look good on there. I didn't want it to look cheesy with the kind of stuff. We want to make sure Avenger looked right. Again, another CG thing.
Yeah.
We wanted the actors and the costuming on the kids to be really good.
They
which
did
I thought it
everything was wonderful.
Yeah. So those are the only places we were heavy-handed in.
Is
and
it commercial in Brazil?
Yeah.
27 million YouTube views.
For which car was it again?
The Renault.
Yeah, it was a car commercial.
I don't know what it was. A Renault
Yeah.
SUV.
Why did they want to use Dungeons and Dragons?
Because
The cartoon is big in Brazil.
It's amazing.
Yeah, like Brazil. So first of all,
We're all grown up now.
The folks in
to buy
Brazil,
cars.
the fans in Brazil are big D&D fans. We got
Okay.
a lot of big D&D fans there. Brazil is a very
There's the right market for it.
fantasy-friendly kind of market anyway. Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons.
we love Brazil.
Has a really strong market in it, and the cartoon like really over-indexed there, and whatnot. So it's just kind of the whole thing. The culture is very kind of fun and creative
Nice.
anyway, so it works well. And then they had done a Hulk commercial the year before, and they were like leaning into this kind of the fandom and stuff. So you know how many views the Hulk commercial got?
No.
6 million. We got more.
Yeah,
Just saying.
that's
a
great.
lot.
Not a
Congratulations.
competition Hulk, but we win.
I mean, it is a
Totally
competition.
winning.
I love the Hulk
I know.
so very much. Taught
Yeah.
me about anger and self-control. But okay,
Do you think Joe's ever met Lou Ferrigno?
I mean, I would bet he has.
He lives
Yeah.
in LA, I think, and his daughter. I know his daughter. I used to know his daughter.
You met his daughter?
Yeah, she was very good friends. He went to college
She's about-
she's tall. She went to college with my friend Malcolm, I think at SUNY Purchase in New York.
Cool.
Did you ever
So
see
she
her
was
get
always
mad?
one. I did not.
Okay.
She didn't seem like an angry person.
Yeah, well, neither was Bruce
I love
Banner.
that. I love that show growing up too. Lou
Yeah.
Ferrigno's the Hulk. Yeah.
Oh, I know. That was a good one. Yeah. And I don't know who the actor was on Bruce Banner, but I liked him too.
Oh, I can hear that music, the sad Hulk
Yeah.
walkway music. That was
you
how I
watch-
left high school every day.
Did you watch Steve Austin and Bionic Woman?
Yeah, they were all in reruns though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still young.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously,
you
me
were
too.
you were watching it live.
Yeah, I was watching it real time.
Real time.
Yeah. Cool. I like your red star, by the way. That's it's like a
These
nautical star,
these
so.
were a terrible dare that I said
Oh, you
yes.
have red
I got red
stars.
star.
Oh,
Why
look
did
at
you get red
that.
stars?
This was the 90s.
So mine is actually more of a sibling thing. So
One for each sibling?
yeah, actually. But no, that's not how it started in terms of stuff. So my brother is 7.5 years younger than me, but we as adults have gotten really close.
That's like me and my brother.
And so I started talking. I was going to get this. I'm like, I really like the red stars. A lot of people had stars in the 90s, and the blue ones like yours with the kind of stuff. A lot of elbow ones and stuff. And so I was seeing them everyone. I really like the red, and it popped. I'm like, I'm going to get them. And I talked about it so long, and all of a sudden my brother comes back, and it's got a red star. I'm like, what the? He didn't get it right here. And I'm like, what the hell? He's like, it sounded cool. You talking about it so long, I finally did it. And I'm like, you sent it. So then I go, I was doing something, so I finally got the red star, but I had moved, I was living in Florida, so I came back and I visited him, and then he had 3. And so I'm like, God damn it, so now I gotta go get 2 more. And so at this point I was like, please stop. please stop getting them.
Are those the only tattoos
But what
you
I
have?
no, I have more. But what I tell everyone, especially my daughter, is that this is me, this is mommy, and this is her.
Oh, that's so lovely.
And
You're
yeah.
not the Winter Soldier. This is
Yeah.
a lovely
Yeah.
metaphor.
And then now she can watch this when she grows up and know that's not true.
Oh, no, she watches all my streams.
Oh, great!
You just ruined it. Don't say anything
No, but you
about
said-
that truth story.
So funny.
Does she watch your streams at 6 years old?
Yeah. Yeah, except
It
for
is
Sandra
exactly
told me
that
that.
was a joke from Auntie Kelen. It is completely
Sandra told
true.
me on day one, though, that we started getting in touch. She's like, I'm watching with your daughter, honey, and then you
I
went
didn't
into...
know that your daughter would watch
Yeah.
this. I was
Daddy
kidding.
loves watching, she calls it on TV.
It is kind of on
She
TV.
loves
It's
watching,
TV. Yeah,
me
sort
on
of.
TV. And
Internet
then
TV.
She'll ask me questions
That's
about my
true.
friends, so she'll probably ask about you guys.
Yeah.
She's met Joe a handful of times and calls him my friend Joe. But that's not the cutest thing. The cutest thing is to be at the grocery store with your wife and daughter in the checkout stand and her point to Sophia and Joe and be like, oh, look, Daddy, your friends Sophia and Joe on the tabloids. Okay,
Hopefully
yeah.
not the tellers. Hopefully it's like people.
Sure. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small
No,
world.
it was one of the more reputable ones.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was. It was like a birthday or it was not a bad story at all.
She's very cute. I met her
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, she's a super cute kid, and she's.
Blonde. Who's blonde?
I was blonde at that age when I had hair.
Is she watching Stranger Things yet, or a little too
A
young?
little too young. We started Star Wars, but she's still a little too young for that. So right now we're still in the cartoon stuff. She has started doing some live action. She's done the Mary Poppins.
Dungeons and Dragons cartoon?
Not yet, but you know what we do?
What?
We have a ton of minis. I mean, she's got a metric ton of minis. She's got a lot of dice, and we've got the dry erase playmats and stuff. And so we'll do some like kind of early D&D where
That's
we're
great.
yeah. And so this is the best moment ever as a Geek Dad. I mean, at this point, I really probably did cry. I come into the dining room. And my daughter Harper is sitting at the table with minis and dice and this box for some reason. And her great Aunt Esther, who
Are you gonna
is
cry?
75 years old. No, not now. Her great Aunt Esther, who's 75 years old, and she's teaching Aunt Esther, and she goes, okay, so if you roll like low, then you go like part way up the box, and if you roll like a 10, then
She
you go
was
like
improvising her
midway,
own system.
and then if you roll like 18, then you make it all the way to the
Oh, that's
top of the
great.
box.
That's great.
And I'm like, she's teaching my 75-year-old aunt how to
wonderful.
play D&D.
That's great. She
Yeah.
might be a game designer.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you guys have kids like in the family, got nieces, nephews, or if you want to play, there's a game called Sleeping Queens that like a 6-year-old
Oh,
girl.
well, I'll buy it and send it to some young women I know.
Yeah, 6-year-old girl like designed. Game Right puts it out. It's really good art. It's a
A
fun game.
6-year-old girl designed it?
Yeah, and when you say that, like you don't know how much, like in the full
Well,
kind
let's
of thing.
give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
She designed
Right.
it. Maybe some
Well,
people
no, I mean,
helped her.
when you play it, the elements in there, you're like, no, she designed
I know
this, she
some-
designed this. Like, there's these things in there that are these genuine comic gold moments
Yeah.
that you know were hers. So you've got these queens, and you want to put these queens out in front of you. You get them by getting kings to go into this pool of random queens and getting them out, and dragons and potions and
Sure.
stuff. But they're all different queens. And so, like, for instance, if you have the dog queen, and then you pull up the cat queen, you have to put one of them back in the
That's
pool.
great.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, and if you get the queen of roses, then you get to draw another queen. I'm like, I don't know why. It's so like whatever, but it's cool.
I like that. I like that.
And
yeah.
and it also semi-teaches math because you got to do some
Sure.
adding and some pairs and stuff. And it's great for parents. It's great for kids.
Wow.
It's called Sleeping Queens.
Sleeping Queens, really good
Awesome.
game.
Yeah.
That's
and
cute.
again, 6-year-old girl designed it, and you're just like, I fully approve.
Fantastic.
Also, by the way, like being a parent in this age too, especially with the daughter, you know what I mean? Like we are like math and STEM, and you can do anything. You know what I mean? Just like no.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah, my friends, I have some friends, Steve and Teresa, they have 2 girls, and they discovered, I think through friends, discovered Dungeons and Dragons, and I recently sent them a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like there's 2 groups. There's like a little kids group. There's like a little bit of an older kids group.
Yeah.
You know, dad, Steve, is running, I think, both groups.
That's cute.
Yeah, but they're going to be DMing on their own shortly. I can feel it. They're so into it, and I feel like, just the kids' resources. Did you talk about that stuff? Yeah,
We did at the panel for sure. Do you
great.
love those books?
I read them and then I sent them
To friends. Great intro. It doesn't even have to be kids. It's just a good intro because it's like really rules light and very
But
just
these
kind of
are
like.
books that Dungeons and Dragons has.
Yeah, this is Jim
What are they
Zub
called?
also.
Jim Zub. What are these called specifically?
Well, this is Young
the Young
Reader's Guide.
Adventurer's Guide, and then the Monsters Manual, right?
Well,
Adaptations.
There's different ones. So there's the monsters and whatever, and then there's the heroes and something.
It was great.
Yeah.
Perfect. I was so happy to put those in the mail and send them off.
Oh,
That's
they're
very
brilliant.
cute.
And you know what? We commissioned so much new art for that, and on a lot of the new art, like the art director Kate Irwin, like a bunch of these, like my favorite owlbear is the owlbear in here. Like she's just like, I
Yeah.
love the pieces we did.
Yeah, the art was fantastic. It was very high quality. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Hey, I have a weird question since this is kind of a theme of the weekend here because I've been trying to bring everyone into the thing.
hard-
do you do
hard pass
Do
on
you do
it.
Extra Life?
Extra Life, the charity?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
Do you participate through D&D?
No,
or you have
I've
your own
donated.
channel?
I've just donated.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that's a good way to do it. Though.
Yeah, I've just as a contributor, like everybody else who's moved by their mission statement, I've just sent them a little coinage.
Yeah.
But I am like unaffiliated. I'm not official. I
Okay,
just
but
love
like
what
if
they're
we
doing.
like signed you up to maybe do a game day or something, we could work it out. And you
Oh
could be, like,
yeah,
a
no,
little
no.
layer.
Any sort of like 100% legit charitable thing that Wizards wants to do, I'd be happy to support.
Yeah, because they do a charity too. Although the
We did one. We
you
did one.
Well, last year. I mean, so it's
Called
so
the
fresh in my
Auction of
head.
Many Things,
The
yeah.
auction of many things.
Yeah.
So what was that charity for?
So we wanted to sort of generate some money for some of the original creators of Dungeons and Dragons, and what we meant by that was like folks who were there in the inception. They could be even adjacent to the community. Folks who had worked on Chainmail, which was one of the games that inspired Gary, and so on and
Chainmail
so
was
forth.
technically like the first
Yeah.
D&D. It was like the prequel.
We just wanted to see if we could bring, some art together, sell it, make a little bit of money, help some folks with some medical bills. Luke Gygax graciously agreed to sort of like be the executor for this
Nice.
money and get it in the right hands. And it was like a lovely art show in Hollywood that we had at Titmouse Animation. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of people
You had
showed
some
out.
cool pieces. I saw the pictures. You invited
Even
me down,
through the
which was super
rain,
nice.
people
I
came.
didn't
It was
get to
really
pick-
lovely.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it rained on the second day. People were still there while Griffin Ramsey, this amazing chainsaw sculptor, she made a mimic out of like a big, beautiful hunk of cedar. It's now in my backyard.
I
proud
love
owner of
this.
that
I would
mimic.
like to meet her.
Oh, great. Yeah, you can find her on Instagram, I'm sure.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
a chainsaw
Sculptor.
sculptor.
Yeah.
So she can do ice
Wow.
and wood?
She does wood.
Oh,
so
wood,
that's her
okay.
jam. So if you bring her up, she's going to be cutting wood. And she made
Pretty cool.
Chris Pronowski, the owner of Titmouse. He has a giant bugbear statue in the front of
that's what
his
I'm talking about.
house in Texas.
He's kind of a bugbear.
Yeah, for sure, he's a bugbear.
Yeah.
I need to see what a bugbear looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have it in your monster manual.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No, no,
So that was cool.
But yeah,
charity.
well,
And
thank you
and
for
got-
asking.
And you got a lot of partners to help in that, and you got
Oh,
the
yeah.
community came out and really supported that, so that was really cool. We tend to the two big charities that Dungeons and Dragons really gets behind is Extra Life and then Child's Play.
I love it. Yeah, I
and
know them
so-
both.
Yeah, so those ones
Yeah.
are both big ones for us. On my personal side, besides kid charities, I like to go with animal, like the ASPCA and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then on a personal note, I make the D&D team. We do a global day of joy. The entire Hasbro company on one day, usually in December, we take off work and everyone goes and supports a charity of their kind of choice. We do it as
That's
a team
great.
thing.
I thought you were going to say does laugh yoga, and I was
No.
going to be like, that's creepy.
But I make, but I don't make. I lead this one thing, and then I encourage the D&D team, and we do this thing for Treehouse. And so Treehouse is an organization that helps foster kids kind of
all right.
get kind of clothes and things. So like their goal is to basically make you not feel kind of as ostracized for being like in the system. And so it's really meant to bring
that's
clothes
lovely.
and styles and games and things so that you're just like, you're not the one on the outside looking in like, oh, I don't get any of the cool stuff.
Wow, that's a very sort of important mission.
So we help that one every year. I think we're fourth or fifth year on that one. So those are our kind of charities. But I like all the charities because anytime you get these people who are truly passionate about it, I feel like it's kind of like the D&D community, right? Like all we want is someone to lead this passion, and we are ready to go on this adventure with you.
Yeah, I mean anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean I think in D&D,
Together anything's
as
possible.
a group, we can achieve truly great things. I think that's globally true.
Yeah.
And D&D is a great sort of
Like metaphor for the.
I mean, I don't know if it's a metaphor, but it's a great way to
Training ground?
experience. Yeah, because you
We do have
experience
a
it in a
guide.
safe
We have a-
space,
we
and
have
then
a
you can take it
manual.
out. You
Yeah.
can take it out into the world, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I kind of have to pee like a racehorse, and you've been really nice talking to us for a while, so maybe we should like take a little break.
I am delightful.
You
So-
are
You're
lovely.
delightful.
I gotta be honest, you are lovely.
Oh, thank you.
And although your wife is more lovely, but
Yeah, that's a fact.
Did she
did she
That's
have
a
fun
fact.
at the
She does
descent?
play. She had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we could have been there both days.
I
But
know.
actually, I was feeling under the weather. But it was not her fault. I was.
And the funny thing about where we do the descent is it's like a block from Titmouse, and so like Chris
across the
and
street.
people just like walk across the street and come over.
It's so close to my house too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
close.
it's a good studio. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a nice
It
spot.
is a good studio.
yeah, they make
Yeah.
a lot of the things you love.
All right, so let's do this, and let's go to the fade to black. All right.
Okay,
in
That's not what's
five,
playing right
four.
now,
I'm
but
gonna
that
take
is.
a little break. We'll be back.
All right, cool. And then later we get Joe back on. Are we cool? You can't. No, they're filming. You can't do it live
Why
from your
not?
phone. Because, like on the airplane, when you use
not
the
true.
cell
It's
phone
not
while
true,
they're
everyone.
talking to the tower, it messes up the communications. Like right now, all their equipment's going to go down because of your cell phone. Right, guys? That's how it works?
No, it does not work that way.
Yes. No. Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome. I can't believe you didn't know the reference yesterday with the you'll buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
No.
Oh my goodness.
What is it from again?
Like monster truck commercials when they were selling tickets.
When was that?
What year were you born? No, I want to say it
In
was.
the 80s.
I want to say it was late 80s, early 90s.
I should know it.
Sunday.
that.
Right, and then it'd say you'll buy the whole ticket, but you'll buy the whole seat, but
But you
you'll
think-
only need the edge.
Think about a little girl who's like sitting there and would rather be playing with like Barbies.
Were you a
Like
Barbie
monster
player?
truck. Oh my gosh, I had the dream house, all the Barbies. The thing though that I've realized now is if you went down at any time to my Barbie dream house or the Ferrari or whatever, all of the Barbies would be naked and coupled up into pairs.
Well,
So-
you had me on the first part of it because I ask my daughter all the time, why are all of your dolls naked? Why can't they keep where are their clothes?
Yep.
And as a father, part of you
What
is
did
just
she
like
say?
you don't want to body
She's
shame at
too
all.
young for it to
you want
be.
to do anything and whatnot, but at the same time, you're
True.
thinking pragmatically like, no, I don't want you to lose the clothes. Like, seriously, where are the clothes? Like, if you're gonna make them all naked, at least put the clothes where they're supposed to go. Half of
But she's
parents.
not thinking about.
No, of course
I
not.
don't think
Yeah.
I just thought they were kissing. I think.
Half of your job as parenting is just trying to not lose stuff. Like,
That's true.
That's legit.
Especially on Barbies, the little shoes,
Yeah.
the little purses. Anyway, we should. Do you have besides minis? Does D&D make any D&D toys?
We have partners to do more. So minis, obviously. There was a set. Have you ever heard of Legos? Remember I told you that's a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the reasons it's a bad word is because Hasbro. I don't know if they still have it. They had a construction brand called Creo.
Okay.
And so we made Dungeons and Dragons Creos. I have them. I don't think many other people do. In those, so we've got those. We've got a lot of what you call collectibles. So
Got it.
the statues and things you put on.
Yeah, people really love.
Yeah.
I saw the Dwarven Forge stuff yesterday.
That's insane,
He,
right?
what's his name?
Stephen Picorni.
Yeah, Picorni, Stephen Picorni, and he showed me pictures of the stuff.
Yeah, well,
I've
that's
never
a whole
seen it.
nother level. I mean,
And that's what Kyle Newman has in his garage.
A garage
Full of a Dwarven Forge. What does
Yeah.
he do with them? Does he go like, does he?
No, when we're doing an adventure, so like let's pretend we're playing through the adventure.
Right.
If he knows what the setting and the location is for that
He'll
adventure,
come show
like,
you outside?
No, we'll bring it into the game room and we'll build out the table with it, so we're playing on that.
Cool.
Yeah, no. If you have never played with Dwarven Forge or the cool setup like that, I mean, just picture like the best diorama you've ever imagined, and then you're playing through it.
They're like miniature, beautiful castles.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really cool.
And they all like magnetically lock and stuff.
No.
So, yeah, it's really cool.
That's very cool that the world has taken like so many different arts go into this now.
Well,
into
I
the
also
world.
think there's something super special about the Dwarven Forge and the Whiz Kids and the Minis and the Tactiles for bringing in new players, because I think that playing Theater of the Mind, which is how it was invented, is very cool for a lot of people, especially probably in your world where that's pretty commonplace.
You live in your head.
But I think that the tactile kind of sensations thing stuff helps a lot of people kind of understand it, like being like, oh, I get it, right?
I like some tactile stuff.
So I can see it. I like it best for when you're in combat to kind of get a better idea of like the field, so you kind of understand like who can I see, where can I aim, how can I...
You get the actual visual, so you know.
I mean, I don't get like my protractor out and do that stuff. But.
That's what I wondered. Is there anyone that's like that? Will go, this is 5 spaces, and is that, how many feet is that? I mean, we have a little bit of that.
We try to discourage it a little bit and kind of have it more like the field. DMs can do whatever they want, but lots of times DMs will just be like, no, you're close enough. But if you've ever seen Games Workshop, they do Warhammer. And Warhammer is a lot more like rulers, inches, like how precise is it?
They're hammering down the war.
Yeah.
Hammering down the rules.
And I imagine that in the very beginning on Dungeons & Dragons it was very much like that, because they started, basically they were big war gamers and would like recreate these old historical battles and try and get it as precise as possible.
Really?
And then they said, it'd be even cooler? Let's do this with fantasy. And everyone's like,
Smart.
that's a horrible idea. That will never work. Fast
then
forward
what?
45 years later.
How many years? 45?
45. Wow. Yeah, almost 45 and a half now. We like to pretend.
Older than me. Thank goodness.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
What if I was like,
There's a
not
lot of
older than
brands
me?
older
You'd be
than
like,
you.
you look good, girl. I'd be
Magic's
like,
older than you.
Magic is? How old is Magic?
25.
I wish.
I remember when I was 25.
Me too. It was last year.
Actually, I don't remember 25.
What other stuff can we talk about with like products? What's new on sale? I mean, you can't say that. What's that thing?
I don't know. Tell me about it.
It's Waterdeep. It's Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Oh.
Is that actual figurines?
No. So Dungeon of the Mad Mage
Plastic figure?
is the Waterdeep kind of second half. So
Waterdeep was the stream last
So if
year.
you did the dungeon heist, the Waterdeep dungeon heist was kind of the beginning. So Mad Mage is when you go down below Waterdeep into Undermountain, it's called.
We probably did that.
And so
I can't remember.
Undermountain is house for the Mad Mage, kind of trapped down there, rules down there. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's basically like this endless dungeon, and he's this super powerful wizard, and you will get destroyed.
So this is him and a figure.
Yeah, and the maps and all this. Oh no, those minis on that?
yeah.
That's just the minis. You want to
Minis.
open one up?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I love minis.
All right.
It's like Barbies, but they're not naked.
Well, it depends on the mini, I suppose.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna just shred this box because I don't have
Oh
an
shoot, what
opener.
did I just do?
All right.
I'm also going to be going on my phone to post something for people to watch.
Oh,
What's happening?
jackpot. Oh my goodness. Oh, get
But
out
this
of
is
town.
really for DMs to use
Oh.
to create the world and create the characters that are coming to fight,
Oh my
right?
God, look at this bad boy. Would you
That's a
even
beholder.
want? No,
What
it's
is that?
an undead beholder.
So different. For me, it's oh my gosh. Can you see that?
Oh, it's the best.
Is it
Uh,
seeable?
We got a gray ooze. Quick trivia. Do you know what you don't want to do with black puddings and oozes? Hit it with your axe. If you're in the ooze in that variety, oftentimes they will split when you use something that slashes or slices,
Yeah.
and then you got to fight two gray oozes.
This is an ooze, so it looks like a snake thing.
Well, it's just like the
Very,
you know,
very wise. A
you
snake.
see Terminator 2, with like the Mercury thing and how it can be kind
Yeah.
of like that thing.
So you don't want to hit it with an axe.
No, you want to do some bludgeoning damage, some magic damage would be good.
This one's great.
All right,
though.
so we got
Who
a
makes these? I
human
mean, I
heart.
know you make these, but
Well, no, WizKids makes them. So this
Oh,
is
the
one of our
WizKids.
licensed partners
Beholder
called
Zombie.
WizKids. And so
undead.
they make
29
them
out of 44. What does that mean?
in the set. So it's the Dungeon of the Mad Mage
Got it.
set.
And then what's this guy?
That's just like
It's
a
the
human
gnome
fighter.
inquisitive.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the box.
No, that's just
Yeah.
showing you different ones.
Oh no, that's not him.
That's
we
not
got
the
his-
one you
yeah.
got.
Where is it? Hold on. This is.
No, you don't have that one on there. They're not all on the
pig.
box.
Wait, there's another one.
I knew there was. I got an empty raptor. Oh, that's you.
Ooh, it's a girl. She's great.
And she's got a giant
Love her
axe.
hair.
Yeah, I really
A
feel
great
like.
axe?
Now, wait a minute. So,
I have
speaking of
great axe.
WizKids, you got to meet Justin at the party last night from WizKids, and he
Which
is the
one's
one who
Justin?
made your guys' Girl Guts Glory minis.
Oh yeah, it's so great. Mine is so cool.
Yeah.
So it's my Dragonborn Barbarian character Dranishka, and that he really likes to do them pretty accurately.
Yeah.
So I got a note back being like, well, it can't look like yourself. Uh-oh, special guest coming. I hear him on the stairs, a special guest.
Yeah.
So basically I had to look like a dragon, but I wanted my face to be somewhere, so my head is hanging on my belt, which is cool. We have a special guest coming up the stairs, but we'll keep talking until that happens. This one's cool.
Yeah, no, the minis
So
are really
another
good.
female.
And the minis are great because, again, when you're doing the Dwarven Forge, it gives you the kind of stuff. Now, you probably never faced off against Beholder because
No, I
most of
haven't.
us who have died.
Really?
They're really wicked.
I haven't played.
So each eye sock has a different ray, and then the rays all like one of them's a disintegration ray, one of them's a death ray,
Thank God.
one
I
of them's a
haven't played against Beholder.
petrification.
I wonder why Kelly hasn't brought in a Beholder. Because we
she
would all
likes you
die?
guys. She
'Cause
likes
we
you
would die.
guys. Yeah, you guys are good friends.
So ours is more spending time, having adventures, but keeping everyone alive.
Drinking wine, yeah. I see
Drinking
how it
wine.
goes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Let's get him
Sup?
mic'd up. Got a mic
Here
there.
he is, the man, the
Pop
myth,
it on my
the legend.
And I love that he's got his liquid death. My goodness.
That was Liquid Death.
Yeah, we gave a whole spiel on liquid
talked
death
about it.
because
Liquid Death.
Oh yeah, because
the
I
wall
love
top.
it. I love it because
I'm
it
Vanna
kills
Whiting.
your thirst.
I feel like for a second
Murders
that this
your
is an
thirst.
actual show.
Yeah.
Joe Manganiello's here, and he's micing up.
Yes.
So come on.
Use your illusion version 1 and 2 in the same set of shoes. That's what I'm
Tune in
talking
on
about.
Twitch.tv.
When am I gonna get to make some D&D?
Twitch.tv/D&D.
We will talk about that off camera. The cameras are rolling right now. Don't.
They are rolling.
We're not talking about that.
What are we
What else
talking
can I
about?
make you talk about now that the
You
cameras are
son of a
rolling? Where do I
gun.
sit?
Are you gonna
I'm gonna
sit
scoot
there?
over and we're gonna give you this spot. All right, so
adding this.
everyone, if you didn't know, this is Joe Manganiello.
Is it Manganiello or
And
Manganiello?
this is a gray ooze.
Yeah, I told them don't hit it with an accent. No slicing or
Very deadly.
slashing damage.
Manganiello or Manganiello?
Listen,
Doesn't matter?
there's two ways you can say it. There's the Americanized version, which is Manganiello.
Yeah.
And then
Manganiello.
there's the Italian version, which has more attitude.
Manganiello.
Which is Manganiello.
Yeah, I got it. The Niello.
Which means
Nello of the
it's
manga.
It's a billy club that the cops use to beat people up with.
Really?
For reals?
Yeah,
That's
so when I'm
wonderful.
in Italy and they look at my name, someone like a concierge, they're like, Mr. Manganiello. Like, that's the gesture. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're like, cool.
it's all right.
Very
Nice.
cool.
You just got back from Italy, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yep, the homeland.
The homeland. And were you out there promoting the new movie?
No, we were
You were just hanging
vacationing.
out, okay.
No, there was a chance that the movie was going to play at the Ischia Film Festival, but we had to be back to do talk shows in New York.
Uh-huh.
And like the only night we could have made it to Ischia was opening night, and you really can't open an Italian film festival with an American
With an
baseball
American, yeah.
movie. So
that's
if we
very
could have
true.
been there longer, then we would have. But we had to come back. I had to do the Tonight Show.
Yeah, so I suppose that part of it. But you and I talked about this movie a long time before it ever came out now, and so baseball is a big part of it, but I mean, you, I think, explained it to me in a way that really made sense, which is like, really, it's a movie about redemption, right? I mean, the character in it, you're the lead character in it, and you really get this kind of second shot late in life, which is really cool.
Yeah, I play a character it's a 19-year-old kid who grew up in the Bronx in the shadow of Yankee Stadium, who's this incredible baseball player who winds up getting drafted by the Yankees. And one night he's out with his neighborhood friends, and they get into a fight, and he hits a kid. The kid falls, smacks his head on the curb, and my character gets 9 years in prison.
For like manslaughter or something, right?
Yeah, and then he winds up getting another 9 years tacked onto it for violence in prison for basically just staying alive. Like doing what he had to
Just
do to
defending
survive in
himself,
prison.
yeah.
Yeah, and gets out 18 years later, returns to the Bronx, and missed his mother's funeral, missed baseball, missed life, and winds up getting a second chance at baseball in the minor leagues, and then winds up bumping into the girl whose heart he broke at 19 years old when he went in,
Very beautiful.
who was
Very
played by my
beautiful.
wife.
Oh, that's cute. How is that the first time you worked together?
I'm not sure what came first because we shot it 2 years ago, but then I think in the interim we did a Hulu commercial.
Okay.
My
And-
daughter loves that commercial, by the way.
It's, and then
She was like quoting it. She says, once you go, you never go back.
I'm sorry.
I know,
She's
but it
like,
was
Dad, I
hilarious."
need to fly first class.
Yeah, oh, that's the other part, yeah. Don't even get me started on that with her.
And then I directed my wife in a staged reading of Major League that I directed for the LACMA series.
Major League.
And my wife, I cast her as Pedro Serrano,
No.
Nice!
which was nuts.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I love that series there.
That's
The
right.
last
That was
series.
great. Yeah, they let me direct one. I was
Yeah,
like,
the
all right,
bat,
I'm doing
awesome.
Major
the
League.
bat doesn't like curveballs, right?
Yeah, well, she kept calling him Yobu.
Instead
Oh,
of
instead of
Jobu,
Yobu, yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it was
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
Yobu.
I love that. So this is I told this story yesterday. I just put this together like a few months ago. I don't know if we've talked about this, but when you and I first met, whenever I was kind of coming into town stuff, we were like, hey, let's get together and play D&D. Oftentimes you tell me like, oh, I got baseball practice, or oh, I got baseball, whatnot. And I thought you were like in an adult baseball league. Like I thought it was just like you and your buddies going to play. And then I realized afterwards, like, no, he was probably going with like some ex-World Series batting coach, like getting training on like how to
Yeah.
be like a legit swing and a great thing. And like, so all those times you were playing baseball or baseball or not, that was actually just like training up for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I trained with a bunch of former pro players, and,
Yeah.
and I would go and play every day and swing. So I mean, it's that's something super specific.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to look right.
Yeah.
And also it's really fun for me to have an excuse to get out there and take BP every day.
Yeah.
But the really fun part about it was, looking at it from a character perspective, my character grew up in the 80s and 90s, and so I went back and then went into prison for 18 years. So he would have swung the way that those guys did in the 80s and 90s, which is a kind of a different swing
They
than
do
now.
a lot more. The stances are a lot different, and they the way that it was. I don't want to say more fundamental back then, but a lot of the coaches would oftentimes beat into their things like this different stance and stuff back then.
Well, there were some wilder, very unique swings back in the day, and if you were a power hitter back in the day, then like, for example, like Bo Jackson had a very distinctive swing.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson had this like big leg kick, and so I modeled my character's swing after who he would have idolized back in the 80s and 90s, which in my mind would have been Bo Jackson. So Bo had this big leg kick, so my character has this big leg
Bo
kick.
played for the Yankees? No.
He played for the Royals
played for the
originally,
Royals.
but it's like, you know, like those guys, like you had those big Canseco, you know.
Who would have been the big hitter back then? Because Canseco was the A's. Who would have been the Yankees? Did they have a big hitter back then?
Well, like late 80s, early 90s. I mean, that's not, I mean, I didn't look at it from like,
No, I was
to
just
be
curious
his
if I was
team
thinking
per
about it,
se.
because I mean, I was, growing up in that
I mean,
same
that was like,
time, and-
well, like Don Mattingly was like back in those days. I mean, Reggie Jackson would have been somebody that he would have grown up, you know, watching.
That's awesome. We're not here to talk about baseball, but the movie has been playing downstairs.
Let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, you've been selling death saves. So how's the death save sales going down there? You getting a couple sales?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff sold out. All the dice were gone very quickly.
There's only 90. How many of them were there?
We made
Are there-
50 sets,
So not
just
that
out of the original. This is the original prototype run of white cat's eye gemstone dice with our
nice.
smoking skull logo on all the high numbers.
Yeah.
So we thought we were out, and then we found one extra set, and there were 3 people that started arguing and fighting over it in the store. They were like, "Well, I wanted it, but
did
when
you
I was
have-
in line before, if I knew you
How
had
did
them, I
you
would have
pick?
got." We
Did a
rolled
roll-off.
off. We rolled off.
You did a
No, you
roll-off.
didn't.
So we're gonna roll off.
That's
So we
so
opened them
good.
up. We rolled off.
It's so good.
The first girl got up. She rolled a 7. I'm like, okay.
Any modifier?
And then the second guy, this guy got up, and then he rolled a 2. So then the third guy,
Feeling
we're like,
pretty
okay.
good, right?
He rolled the skull. He rolled a 20. So I had to give it to him for free. I was like, you win,
that's
just
so
take it.
good.
Like, you were done. You rolled
I love
you rolled a
that.
crit.
But that
It's all on film. All these people were filming. There were all these
No.
cameras. We had a big roll off.
But
That's
that
really
reminds
good.
me, so when you did Colbert, he brings up dice and stuff, and you roll, and you critted on live on Colbert.
No, come on.
No,
Yeah.
so Colbert knew that I played D&D. And so my wife did his show. So I usually do the Tonight Show. My wife did Colbert. And he was like, when can I come over and play D&D with your husband? And she's like, well, why don't you just have him on the show and you can talk about it. So when I launched Death Saves a year ago, I called Colbert and was like, hey man, like, how about we talk about Dungeons and Dragons? So he said, sure, come on the show. So I went on to
like
talk
the whole
about Death
show.
Saves. That's it. Not a movie, not a TV show. Death Saves.
Yeah.
And for
I mean, like a part of the thing, Colbert turns and he goes, look, a bunch of people don't know what we're talking about. I don't care. We're still doing it. Right?
Exactly.
It's like,
we did this like deep dive inside baseball. We did 14 minutes just inside baseball D&D. Just
Yeah.
talking about like, oh, well, my character had this and I had this and oh, well, my character has the hand of Vecna. I mean, it was like that. And the crowd.
when you mentioned Tiamat and he pulls out
probably
the
thought it
Hobbit,
was
you're just
nuts.
like,
I was like,
whoa!
well, I worship Tiamat. He's like, the opposite of Tiamat is Bahamut. Like we went,
Yeah.
he knew everything. And the audience was like, you could hear crickets. Like they had no clue what we were talking, which is amazing. And Stephen's like,
Meanwhile, all of
But
us
it's
watching on
interesting
TV, you're
because
just like, yeah!
everybody at D&D land's like, yeah. And so he just busts out this bag. I didn't know he was going to do this. He's like, you want to roll some dice? Let's roll some dice.
So he's played
he was
since he was little.
like hardcore, yeah. So he pulls out this bag of dice and he's like, all right, let's roll some dice. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah.
Because you were teaching him about death saves, because that's new, because he didn't play 5th edition, so he didn't know the death
He didn't know
save
death saves.
reference.
He didn't know like Dragonborns.
Yeah,
because
so,
that's 4th
so Joe was
edition.
teaching him kind of a lot of the newer stuff.
And then we were talking about rolling for attributes, and he's like, "How do you roll for
Oh yeah,
attributes?"
because he did it like old school way.
How
Yeah,
would you do it old school?
You'd roll 3d6.
3d6 all the way down.
So your
what you get
first
is what
one's
you
strength.
get.
Okay, so I'm a
Wow.
fighter. I rolled 6. That's on my strength. You roll the next one, so you're like, I've got the most charismatic fighter ever.
Yeah.
I kind of like that though.
It's hardcore.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, we roll 46 and pull out one of the dice,
and
both the loads.
he's like, that's for
That's for
amateurs."
children or something.
And then
He's
you
like
guys
me
rolled.
little like you for like, oh, that's
I was
how
like,
you
I
do
don't
it.
care, whatever. So yeah, he busts out this bag of dice. He's like, let's roll some dice. I'm like, all right. So I just pick up 20 and go, and it's a 20. I roll a crit.
On camera.
And I was like, yes!
Yes.
And the audience didn't know what they were cheering
Had
for.
no
they
idea,
were
but
very
people at
happy.
home were like, yeah!
Yeah. At that point, you're like,
pretty
Joe,
amazing.
get up
Crazy.
and
And then
walk
just
off.
have
Like
him-
you just roll it, just walk off. Like done.
Drop
That was it. He's like, okay, death saves. Like, go
get it
go
online.
buy it online. Yeah.
Speaking of which, though, so you're selling out a bunch of stuff here, but if you're watching right now, if people are watching right now, they can go to death-saves.com and get,
death-saves.com. Yeah, you can go to death-saves.com.
and they can get the stuff that's downstairs or no?
Not yet. That was
But
that,
soon.
so what happened
Soon.
was there were people that were calling from other countries, calling their friends, like, you're in San Diego, go get in
What?
that line.
The line was huge. It's
Go
still
get
going,
me.
right?
Yes, they're like, go get me this, get me that, and they were sending people in to order and like send to Australia or send to
Wow.
places. So that was fun. So
really cool.
and we have con exclusive stuff. Like I said, the dice went. We had party cups.
Is this Comics?
Yeah.
No, you got a different
I showed
Comics.
the party
With the
Reusing
party
it.
cups, gone.
Bring that.
Those are gone.
Party
Reusable
cups.
solo
Fun.
cups like you used to have when you were a kid, except you can
Really
wash
cool.
those in the
Yeah.
washing.
And they say death saves.
Wash it, and they say yeah, they have skulls on.
Dope.
them. And then we have a con exclusive like
Shirt?
Berserker Destroy
Yeah.
Barbarian shirt. That once that's gone, it's gone.
And the first time I saw that shirt, so this is actually one of the perks of, working the job that I do is that we do an annual company meeting at Wizards, and so we get better speakers than most people because we have great people like Joe, like in the mix of the family, like Joe, you want to come like do our inspirational
Heck yeah.
speaker at the company meeting?
You did?
But then we also were like, hey, we also need some people to sell some D&D gear. Like you want to bring the crew and do this
Yeah.
stuff. And so I saw that Berserker at the Wizards company meeting last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of fun, cool new stuff coming out in the
Yeah.
fall. We got
Oh, you
this
do?
year.
Cool.
This year is going to be because this year was like this is the 1 year anniversary. We launched 1 year
1 year
ago
ago here.
at Comic-Con
Yeah.
at BAIT, and so you launch something like this. You don't know if other people out there are going to respond. You don't know if other people out there really have an itch that needs to be scratched for like the old metal aesthetic, scary looking.
Yeah, you know you love what you're doing, and you hope they like it.
Yeah, and sure enough, like the lines last year were bigger than like all the Off-White drops, the Sean Witherspoon Nike drop, and so we couldn't keep anything on like in the store. Like we opened online the following day and it sold out in like 5 days. And we had a lot of product, so it was like okay. So this year's been a lot of like experimenting and seeing how far we can take people and what they want. And what we found was like people want more. Like they want us to keep going, and so that's what we're going to keep doing.
Nice.
So we have like a bunch of like fall gear coming out, like bomber jackets, military coats.
Because
You
I
know.
get so many compliments on my black windbreaker, the first one.
Yeah.
So many. People have no idea what it is, but they just think it looks really cool.
That's the
And then
idea.
I explain it, and they're like, all right.
Well, the idea was also
You got
that
a new windbreaker today. I saw Orcus
Yeah.
down
we have
there.
an orchestra windbreaker.
Yeah.
The idea of it was part of it was the fact that when I was a kid, it was hard to say that you played D&D. It was just like the odds were against you. It was like it was a strange thing. Like we loved it.
That's why I never learned
But
until I was an adult.
people had a reaction to it, and so in starting this line, I wanted to create a line that you could like hide in plain sight.
Nice.
You could wear an Orcus shirt with this crazy metal Orcus design, and people just think it's some
That's
like
cool,
like
yeah.
Norwegian metal band.
Yeah.
But if you're a D&D,
Always Norwegian.
always. But if you're a D&D head, you're gonna go, oh my, is that you're in the club?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Demon Lord, one of the good Demon Lords. Yeah. There's a lot of Demon Lords.
There are. We're going through them. We have Demogorgon, and we're gonna keep rolling
Are
some
you gonna
out.
do? I never say it right. Inagu, the knoll, like the one who created Knoll.
Yinagu or whatever. Yeah.
Inagu. Yeah, I never say it right.
Yes.
That's gonna be out there too.
Yes.
What about Jubilex?
I want to do Jubilex.
Yeah.
There's the guy who did our Berserker shirt. We were talking about what to do next, and we were throwing around Jubilex.
Now we've talked about every now and then doing we obviously want to get some movies and TV shows and cartoons and all this stuff in the mix, and we've talked about different roles you could play. I'm just going to throw it out here right now. If you guys agree, let's hear about it. But you could be Grotz, the Demon Lord.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got the physique, the face, the thing. It's I definitely.
Grotz. Yeah. Okay.
I'll show you. You'll look and you'll be like, wait. Did you guys model the Demon Lord after him? Like, now that I'm looking at Joe, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I think he's got a little parts that are not as human. Joe's a little more human, but like the face and the
He is human.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, he was a werewolf for a little while.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So I want to pivot because I don't know what time it is. I actually have a watch. Yes, let's pivot. So theoretically, if we've done this right, Pelham has given the team here an image, and you've seen this image because we like to talk and share some. You share the designs of to go. Z and I share some cool stuff we're doing. But this product, I think, speaks a lot to you because you didn't actually start jumping in and playing 5th edition right at the beginning. You came like maybe a year in.
About a year in, yeah.
Yeah. So 5 years ago, actually 5 years ago the other day.
I didn't even see your shoes, dude.
Oh, you like me?
Look at this fire.
They have them downstairs.
This fire. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're just kicking the fire.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Okay, well.
What are these?
These are use your illusion.
1 and 2.
1 of 1, custom, hand painted.
This
is
is
Use Your
Shoe
Illusion
Doctor?
1. Use Your Illusion 2. That's by Mosh Customs. Yeah.
Oh, that's hot.
All of this is another language to me.
Another
but They
language.
look
Yeah, you
very
like these? I
cool.
saw these the other day.
Those are dope.
And I actually,
Did you get them here?
well, I almost did. So I went on. So Nike's got a sneaker app where you can get the drop and they come out, and they were gone right away. And so then I was looking, and I found them on Bait, and so I went to buy them real quick. But then I'm a size 10, which is like the size of everyone. So you can't what are you? You're like a 13 or 14.
I'm a 14.
So he's got a little better chance.
So
of being out
but
of
they
the
don't.
average,
They
but
don't make as many. So you have to. Yeah.
So there's technically less of them, but there's also less people looking. So he's got a slightly better chance of one like still being in a shop, like because they didn't buy it.
Because no one bought it. Right.
But so I go and Bait's got it on there, and so I'm trying to buy it, and it's like. And so it's basically they were out of my size, even though they had them. And so then 2 days later, Chris Erb sent me a hey, and so I bought them.
He's good like
nice.
that. All right, but I interrupted.
Okay, sorry. So so you came in about a year into 5th edition. So basically about a year ago, give or take a couple days here, we launched the 5th edition starter set. So we rolled them out, and we did the starter set in July. We did the player's handbook in August, and then we followed up with the. DMG and then the Monster Manual. Either way, we rolled these out, and so basically we are now at 5 years of 5e. And anyone watching the stream knows, and then you and I, and you know that 5e has like become super popular. Like Dungeons and Dragons, the brand is on a total like high and resurgence, but the number of players coming into 5e, the new players coming into 5e, it's been outrageous. It's been crazy, but a lot of people might not have come in when we had the very first adventures. And the first adventures, we called the season, we called the campaign, it was like a marketing name, we called it the Tyranny of Dragons, because it was all about Tiamat. And the first one was Horde of the Dragon Queen. And you've got that nice white dragon on the cover and the stuff. And then you've got the second book, which is The Rise of Tiamat. And so it was 2 books. It was a really cool adventure combo about the cult of the dragon and stuff. And so this is particularly close to you because A, you've got a character who's a strong worshiper of Tiamat. I mean, just a little. I mean, maybe like Tiamat's like number 1 or 2. Like hard to tell in what world you're in, but
he's up there.
Up there, kind of stuff. But also, you are like currently DMing like on a weekly basis through the first one or through the second one, or you're going through the whole stuff.
I started. Well, yeah. So I started. I DM my home group from the E. Gary Gygax Memorial Dungeon in Beverly Hills in the basement of my house.
I forgot to put the E on there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
E. Gary Gygax Memorial Dungeon in Beverly Hills, which was christened by Luke Gygax.
That's right. Yeah. It's official.
It's official. And
it is so.
So I built this crazy dungeon with dragon heads on the walls and a beholder hanging over the table, and like every
really
have a man
He has a
den.
lot of
and
But
an original
D&D
Jeff Easley oil painting that my wife got me for my birthday of my character Archon.
With
the
Tiamat in the
cool
background.
Tiamat in the
What a
background.
good gifter.
Larry Elmore is currently working on Archon paintings. So I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. That's
My
right.
phone is
You
telling
said
us to
that
go
because
away.
Larry Elmore.
I mean, yeah, Larry. Yeah, the talk of the Larry Elmore Archon the Cruel painting set it off. And so I had a bunch of friends that wanted to play, and I grew up DMing. That was my thing, and so I wanted to get back into it with 5e, and so I wanted all my players to get to fight all the different dragons, and I love Tiamat, and
Obviously.
Archon is a Tiamat worshiper, so I started in the beginning in the town of Greenest, in
nice.
Horde of the Dragon.
The blue
Queen.
dragons come down. Are they the first ones that come into the?
So my players start in the woods, and they're the story depending. Because actually, I ran different groups. I ran smaller groups so that they would start out and have different backstories.
Oh, they got different spokes, and then they kind of come into.
So I took 3 over here that were hired to escort the governor's brother back to town.
Okay.
Then I had this other guy over here. I actually did a solo adventure with him. He was coming back from war as a soldier with his soldier buddy, heading back to the mountains. He was a Goliath, so he was heading back to the mountains where his people were.
Yeah.
And basically, like, you hear a thunderclap off in the distance, but then someone would make a nature check to try to figure out how far away it was, how far away the thunder, the rain clouds were, and they would realize there's no rain in the air, there's no humidity.
Yeah, you just heard a
They say, "Well, what do
thunderclap
you
with
mean?"
no.
So they crest the hill and realize that there's thunderclaps coming out of this cloud, but there's no rain. And so, and then they see fires and smoke. So you get closer and you realize that the town is being sacked by this blue dragon. And blue dragons normally, they don't work for people. They were just, after the giant dragon wars, they just receded back into their lairs.
They're
and
kind of
hid.
live and let live, right? Like, you're fine,
they don't
whatever.
care. They're individuals. So how is this blue dragon now working with an army? This doesn't make sense. And so him being a Goliath, he knew the lore of the giants versus the dragons and how Tiamat was imprisoned. And so he started unraveling this mystery, and then off they went.
So this is a great preview into the fact that we are releasing, and I want to call it October, and maybe Pelham will tell me that it's the 22nd. We are releasing it. We're taking both of the first adventures.
Cool.
We're putting it in a 1-book set called Tyranny of Dragons. It's just an alt cover version, so it's just a hobby store exclusive Hydro Tiamat cover, which maybe will flash up on the screen. And I will also do this show because here's the deal: like, you do a ton of awesome stuff for us, and we try to hook you up with a bunch of different products. And lots of times you get playtest stuff and everything, but sometimes a product will come out and I'm like, oh, you haven't. Oh crap! I meant to send that to. So this is what I'm going to promise. I'm going to give you the first off the line of this one. So when we get this one in and we're doing the proofs and the checks, after they've said it's cool and they go to print, then we'll send it your way and you'll get to be like have the first Tyranny of Dragons. Considering I have to believe that you are Tiamat's most loyal servants.
I have to be at this point.
I think that's gotta be true,
especially
right?
because Archon shows up in the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus module, which
Very
comes out
tied
this fall.
to a Tiamat hook
Who
in
knows
there.
so much.
And
You're right.
He was a contributor. No, he was like.
But you also, he said that you like really like go into depth and detail, and like all the rules.
Well, the other
and, like,
side of starting Death Saves was like all of our shirts, nothing is done arbitrarily. Like all of
deep
our
cuts.
images are so deep cut. Like, for example, the Demogorgon we just released this weekend. He's often described as, or in the old days was described as the Lord of all that swims in darkness. And so he's never depicted in a water plane.
Yeah.
So we did it.
Nice.
My favorite thing, though, is, I mean, you want to go deep cut, right? Like, Demogorgon in the beginning was what, like a mad scientist dude? I mean, what would you call it?
Yeah, there were children of Demogorgon. I know that like Kargoth the Betrayer, who was like the first Death Knight.
Yeah.
He has this creature that like this 3-headed furry serpent dragon
And that's
that was like a
Demogorgon
child of
is. Yeah,
Demogorgon.
they
It was
do
like
furry, they do baboon, they do serpent, they do all this stuff. So there's lots of different, and so.
Yeah.
But you guys like to pick a lane and kind of go deep with an area of lore, kind of teaching moment, right? I mean, also kind of just like, hey, this is a cool way to kind of distinguish this look and be so.
But back to
I really appreciate
Archon.
that. Archon. Sorry, Archon starring role. Well, no, supporting role.
Yeah,
But pretty cool role.
And Archon's minions, he has a whole crew,
Yes.
and I got to design the miniatures that will go along with.
Well, I saw your Death
adventure.
Turtle image. Wait, is that out? Did
That's
I
a
just
Gale
spoil
Force.
that?
No, it's a Gale Force 9.
Gale Force 9
you go on my
put that out, right?
Instagram.
Okay,
yeah. Gale Force 9 is putting out
Your Death
Archon, a Dragon High Lord Archon miniature,
Yeah.
brand new, and Toragar Steel Fist, who is Archon's Minotaur bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then with the brand, he has the Tiamat's symbol, but branded on his chest.
By the way, he started as a bodyguard or a bouncer. He was just used to work the bar at the Burning Cube.
Oh yeah, because you were in that campaign.
Yeah,
with us,
he's got it in another world. He's got a. They did one of this whole like.
Hiatus.
They went and they like busted up this drug ring, and then they ended up like stealing drugs and like fencing them, and then like funded their bar.
And we had a Hulk horror fighting ring in the basement. It was a weird adventure.
Yeah, I actually the other day I think we were talking about the best DMs, and I would definitely rank Charlie Sanders up there in one of the best.
Charlie's great. Yeah, he's so,
I mean he holds
so
he
funny.
holds his own with the Chris
So
Perkins
funny.
and stuff. Like he's
Yeah,
there.
Charlie's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're kind of out of time. I also think that they probably still want you to go sign a
Yeah.
couple more death
You
saves.
have
So,
a bit of a line.
so look for that book. So it's got the Hydro cover. It's both adventures in one. There's some updates on there. So go to the website and check out. So they definitely fix some stuff because those were our first adventures. You know, so there's some learning. We look back, we're like, oh, we would have done this slightly different. So there's a little bit of tweaks.
And if people go into a deep dive on my Instagram,
Yeah.
they'll see the progression of the adventures. Like, because I would go into detail and have like just
your Monday morning
paragraphs.
recaps on these were like
Yeah.
legendary.
And also some of the players that play in my home game.
You've
it's
got a pretty eclectic
crazy.
group. It's and you've been adding to the group over
and I
time.
keep getting names like, oh, so and so wants to come over and play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, let me.
Kyle was telling us
This
about it
guy's going
yesterday.
out on tour
Yeah.
with his band, so we'll
We
get
gotta-
you in, and
yeah.
then you
It's
know.
a fancy game.
It's fancy.
Yeah, well, you're
Very
in
fancy.
the Guy Gax Memorial Dungeon, so
Yeah.
Johnny
Kinda
Carson
fancy.
used to have this famous poker game with and like everybody's trying to get into it, and like that's kind of what's happening at my house
Nice.
with D&D.
So, and the only reason I still get in is because I like came in the early days. Like
You almost
I-
got killed, man, in Mad Mage.
Oh, I would no. Ryan and I were just.
almost lost your
Oh no, I
character.
didn't even talk about that one. I almost also got killed in our Vampires
Ganache.
game.
Ganache
but,
the big-
It was kind of
Baker.
karma
oh my God! One time
for
I
Ganache,
let you
almost
die.
killing one of my characters.
Oh, but one time. One time. All right. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to Comic Con.
Yeah.
If you haven't bought any Death Save stuff, look,
I'm
it's
wearing-
awesome. I would do it. And then also check out our Tyranny of Dragons stuff that's going to drop this fall. We've got our Rick and Morty coming out. We're going live with our with our Extra Life charity right now too. So check that out. And Joe, I think you like this. I support Seattle Children's Hospital. You're on the board at Pittsburgh Children's Hospital and stuff. So it's Extra Life.
We started the D&D club at Pittsburgh Children's.
Oh my God,
Which
you
was
did.
awesome.
And yeah,
man.
that was shots
And the
were
kids
awesome,
write
too.
to me; they still play.
They are.
Yeah,
He was like teaching them how to play. He was giving
yeah,
them all
it's
books.
amazing.
That's so
yeah, it's so
cool.
cool.
So we're closing in. We've almost raised $1 million for Children's Miracle Network that funds all the hospitals. Some of it goes to Pittsburgh, ours, like goes in the thing. So we're gonna try and like just kick $1 million out of the ethos this year in terms of stuff and do stuff. So
Yeah, it helps.
so do all of those things, and then yeah, if nothing else, just play, welcome other players in your group. Buy stuff, share, retweet, whatever version you want in terms of stuff. D&D has the best fan base I've ever been a part of.
Really
It's
does.
such a great community. So if you're watching, you're part of it, and that means all you have to do is keep being cool and encouraging other people to kind of come check
Keep
it out.
supporting the hobby, and we'll keep making cool stuff.
That's it.
Very
All right.
good.
So for Nathan, Joe, Kelen, all of our special guests, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with our nonsensical. Whenever we count in, I always like count in from 5, 4, 3, but I count in like at 9 and 6 and all over the place. And they're like, "This
part
is
of your
getting-
charm."
It's part of
Yeah.
my charm.
Let's bring back Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. All right.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking
No,
about.
don't mouth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't nod your head.
Wait.
I did get to see Dana Carvey do live stand-up in my early years, and I loved it. All right, so on that, let's go. We're in. We're over. Cheers out.
Party time!
Bye.
Excellent!
D&D.